Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome everyone back after the lunch break. Let us put our hands together for the next speaker, Ms. Sucheta Kadethankar. Ma'am, please come. Have a seat. Please have a seat. We're about to begin the third last session of the conference, and we have a distinguished speaker amongst us. So with great admiration and privilege that I introduce the speaker, my teacher, Ms. Sucheta Kadethankar, whose life journey has been nothing short of extraordinary. With a remarkable education background, including masters in Yoga Shastra, Marathi, and Sanskrit, alongside her pursuit of a master's in Vedic literature, Ms. Sucheta's quest for knowledge has taken her to prestigious institutions worldwide, from the Oxford Center of Hindu Studies to Arsha Vidya Gurukul in Coimbatore, where she delved into yoga philosophy and Advait Vedanta. As the founder of Koham Yogashala, she is deeply committed to making yoga education accessible to all. She conducts yoga teacher training courses, imparts wisdom of pranayam meditation, scripture studies, and serves as the co-founder and director of Alpha Racing Solutions, a pioneering sports technology company as well. Ms. Sucheta's professional journey is as diverse and as it is inspiring. With the background in the IT and journalism, she spent over a decade in various leadership roles before venturing into entrepreneurship. However, it is her remarkable feat in the endurance sport that truly distinguish her. In the year 2011, Ms. Sucheta made a history as the first Indian to traverse the treacherous Mongolian Gobi Desert on the foot, covering an astounding 1,600 kilometers. And if you want to see the journey, you can search her online on the YouTube, and you will find a beautiful video where she speaks about her Mongolian Gobi Desert expedition. Her accolades as an endurance athlete, including winning various ultramarathons and prestigious awards such as Yashwantrao Savant Vishesh Krida Puraskar and a TI Aspire Young Achiever Award. We are honored to have you here with us today, ma'am. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Sucheta, whose remarkable journey and insights are sure to lead incredible learnings today. Thank you so much. Over to you, ma'am. And the topic that she's going to speak about is the process of knowledge in the Patanjali Yoga Darshan. Over to you, ma'am.
Namaskar. Thank you so much for that introduction, and I'm very much pleased and at the same time honored to be invited here in this prestigious institution, and I feel myself blessed because it is always a pleasure to have this interaction with people who like what you like, right? So I think yoga is something which is just beyond interest. I think for all of us, it's not just the interest, right? It is something that we want to live every day, every moment, if possible. So again, thank you so much for calling me here and giving me this opportunity to speak with this wonderful audience. When I was hearing what Shraddha madam was talking about me, I was thinking, oh, so many threads, like, and then I thought, what did I do? I went into IT and this and that. I think I was just exploring, and I didn't know what I was looking for. And when I finally found what I was looking for, I found it in yoga. So this is where I think now I feel settled, and my jumping has stopped. Most of you, we all are, we all know yoga, yoga language also, right? So we know what the kshipta vikshipta moodha is. So I think my entire journey is from that moodha chitta bhumi to kshipta vikshipta, and the struggle to become ekagra is still, still on. So I thought I will talk about one interesting thought which has always intrigued me whenever I have tried to study the Patanjala Yoga Darshan. So initially I thought that, it will be fine to talk about the relevance of the Yoga Sutras in today's world. And then I said no, because all of you here just know Ashtanga Yoga. We know Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam, all the 8 limbs, and 5 Yamas and 5 Niyamas. And why should I again repeat that and go about explaining how we can interpret Ahimsa and Satya and Asteya in today's world? So I thought that probably each one of us is wise enough, has that discretion, has that capacity to be able to relate these limbs and 5 yamas and niyamas to the modern world, today's world. So I thought of taking a different route, and why did I think of taking this different route is just because it has always intrigued me. What has always been an interesting thought for me is the process of knowing. Okay? How do you know something? Sure.
BPH students are supposed to enter very silently, not a single word.
Discipline, no? Atha yoga anushasanam. Yoga is the science of discipline. Okay, so what has always been interesting thing for me, in any philosophy for that matter, not just yoga, is the process of knowing. You know, yoga is a part of the entire framework, which is like a vast expanse of Indian philosophy. And then there are these darshanas, and yoga darshan is one of the 6 astic darshanas. Now, whenever we use this word darshana, what do we understand as darshana? What is a darshan? Drishyate, jnayate, atma anena. Means, darshan is that instrument through which you can see and know what? The Atman, that is the self, that is a darshan. Isn't it? So what is in the heart of darshan? Knowing. And every darshan tells you its own process of knowing. Every darshan has its way of interpreting the process of cognition, knowing, knowledge. Every darshan also has its own process of inquiry. Inquiry into the meaning of who am I, what am I, why am I, what is this world about, what are these living beings doing in this world, and how do they relate with each other, what is the purpose. So every darshan has this unique, its own methodology or its own perspective of looking at the world, you know, the living beings, the creator, the creation, and the process of knowing. So I thought of talking about this process of knowing and how are we supposed to interpret the process of knowing in today's world. Because in today's world, knowing anything is so easy. It is very, very easy. You just Google and you just know about it. There is nothing that you cannot know about. We all know Puneri Patya, very famous. No? So I've seen this party at a clinic. कृपया पादत्राणे आणि गुगलचं ज्ञान बाहेर ठेवून या. Okay, so this knowing has become so easy, and this is more the reason why we need to understand what is this process of knowing, and what we call as knowing or knowledge. Is it really knowledge or something else? And how is Patanjali Yoga Darshan talking to us? What message does it convey us when it talks about this process of knowing? So let's see if we can understand and interpret this. I would like to narrate a short story which is from Yoga Vasishtha. I'm sure you all have heard about Yoga Vasishtha. A wonderful text which is very less talked about, of course, because it is so vast. It's a vast text, okay? And there is a very beautiful story that comes from Yoga Vasishtha. Yoga Vasishtha is full of stories. This story is Balak Akyan or Akhyayika, okay? So, listen carefully, okay? In a city or a town named Asat, in a city or a town named Asat, there lived a king. What is Asat? Sat is what is, and Asat is what is not. So what was the name of this town? Asat is the name of the town. And in that city lived a king. Now this king had 3 sons. 2 of these sons were not yet born, and 1 was yet to be conceived. Now these 3 sons wanted to do business, and they started their exploration in search of some wealth. So they started walking. And as they were walking, they arrived in a jungle. And this jungle did not have any ground. And in that jungle, they found 3 trees. 2 trees were cut, and 1 tree was yet to be sown. Now these 3 princes rested in the shelter of these 3 trees. And they also ate fruits from these 3 trees. And then they started walking again. They arrived in a town named Bhavishya. And in this town named Bhavishya, they saw 3 temples. These temples did not have any shape. And in these 3 temples, they prayed. And then they thought that let us cook and offer some prasad, some nevedya to the god. So they started looking for some pots, some pans. They found 3 pans, golden pans. 2 of the pans did not have any base, and 1 pan was in the form of powdered gold. They cooked in those pans. And then they thought that let us invite some purohits to eat with us. So they invited 2 of these purohits. Did not have mouth, 1 did not have a stomach. So they offered the bhojan to them. They ate. And after offering this bhojan to them, these 3 sons of this king also ate, and then they lived happily ever after. Okay, so this is the story. Now, what is this story telling us? Where does it start? It starts from Asat. So it doesn't exist. The Asat, it doesn't exist. And what are we talking about? King of that town named Asat and his 3 sons, and they started. But as I was narrating, did you all visualize the entire story? You did. How? Did you not know that this is not true? You all knew it. You all know what asat is. Still you were able to visualize. You kept on visualizing, okay, these three suns and the jungle and the trees and how the temples would have looked like and the pot and the cooking and everything. How? Mind, kalpana shakti. So your mind is capable of creating the entire world which doesn't exist at all. You know, when we say anxiety and all of this stress, what is this? Your mind is creating something about something which doesn't exist, isn't it? Because your mind is capable of doing that. Now, when we are talking about this, I want now to connect this story with the Yoga Darshan of Patanjali Muni. So, what is this darshan telling us? This darshan tells us a definition of yoga, which all of us know. Yogaha chitta vritti nirodhaha. What are the chitta vrittis? What we all just experienced. So many chitta vrittis I was able to create in all of you, or mind. So it's very easy to create a chitta vritti. Even if there is nothing that exists, you can still have literally hundreds of chitta vrittis and thought waves and thought patterns, isn't it? See, all of us mostly come to yoga through asanas. And then as we keep on practicing postures, our inner calling takes us towards yoga philosophy, isn't it? Like when we start practicing postures, we all have certain movement patterns in us. And we all bring all of those movement patterns on our yoga mats with us. And we get those movement patterns from so many things, like probably genetics. My body has certain types of fibers, muscle fibers, and so my body could be naturally tight, naturally flexible, whatever my bone size is, large or small or whatever. So I get this body as I am born, so that creates a movement pattern. If I have been playing a certain sport, then that gives me some movement pattern. If I have been into a certain profession which probably requires me to stand for a long duration or sit or drive or walk, that gives me a movement pattern. And I bring all of those movement patterns on the yoga mat, and as I start practicing asanas, postures, I am trying to break those movement patterns. Same thing. We all have some thought patterns. And these thought patterns in turn give rise to different chitta vrittis. So see, there are so many people here, probably 200, I don't know. As I was narrating, we surely had minimum 200 thought patterns, chitta vrittis about the same story that I was narrating. No thought pattern would be identical. No two thought patterns will be identical. They are unique to you, isn't it? So the process of knowing for each one of us is going to be different. That is because each one of us comes with a thought pattern, and that thought pattern has come to us through, again, genetics, our genes, probably modeling. We may have heard our teachers or parents or role models, so we try to inculcate, imbibe, think like them, become like them. So that has given me a thought pattern probably, isn't it? Or probably my reading, my education, my opinions, all of this give us some thought patterns. And that is why chitta vrittis are different for everyone. And because chitta vritti for everyone is different, the process of chitta vritti nirodha is also going to be different. And the first step in that process has to be the process of knowing the thought pattern. Knowing that, oh, this response is coming from a pattern. It is not the objective response that I am giving. It is my pattern which is giving this response. So the first step has to be knowing, knowledge. And so it becomes all the more important to understand what is this process of knowledge. Now, when I talk about knowledge, if I say this entire world is nothing but knowledge, this microphone is a knowledge of someone, right? These people who have set up this entire audio system. It's their knowledge which I'm using right now. So this is a knowledge. The flower arrangement, it is a knowledge of someone who has arranged these flowers. This dyers, all of this, anything that you see, it is a knowledge of someone. So whatever we see and perceive around us in the world is nothing but knowledge of someone. Every object we see is a knowledge. Facebook is a knowledge of Zuckerberg, probably. ChatGPT, knowledge of someone. So whatever tool you use, whatever object you see, anything that you are consuming is a knowledge. And knowledge always has to belong to some conscious entity, isn't it? Can knowledge belong to some unconscious entity? No. Probably we may think that, oh, ChatGPT, whenever I write some prompt, ChatGPT responds. That is artificial intelligence. Agreed. But whose knowledge is behind that artificial intelligence? It is the knowledge of some conscious entity. It is not the knowledge of some unconscious object. Though we are interacting with an unconscious object, the knowledge behind it belongs to a conscious entity. So, that tells us that everything we see around us is knowledge. So, every moment we are dealing with knowledge, knowledge exchange. Right now also it is happening. And there is also avyakta knowledge exchange that is happening, which is not expressed. I am talking, you all are not talking. But is there no exchange happening? I am also gaining some knowledge from you, though you all are not talking. So every moment is a moment of knowledge. And whenever we say, today's world, relevance of Patanjali Yoga Darshan in modern times, digital world, today's world, whatever expression we may be using, what do we understand by that? When I say today's times, I'm using this concept of time. It is implied that anything that is current, we think that it has to be ahead of what was, probably a moment back. So, time is running forward, and so we ask this question, what is the relevance of it in today's times? That's why, because we assume that today's times are modern and we have moved ahead, and that is something which is old. And so we have to now find out the relevance differently. This is what we assume. But then, what relevance are we going to find about? Even if we interpret the entire Yoga Sutras and we try to interpret the yamas and niyamas and all the limbs, then that interpretation will take us to doing certain things differently. If the meaning of Satya, Ahimsa, Brahmacharya, Asteya was different 2500 years back, we will probably interpret these things differently and then conclude that, okay, in today's times, we should be doing yoga this way. So let us change. Okay? But even before that, what we need to understand is there are two things. One is sensing and the other is doing. Even physiologically, even if we are talking about our body response, there are motor nerves and there are sensory nerves. Sensory nerves are giving some signal to the brain, and as per that signal, motor nerves are acting. So, what are we talking about? Jnanendriya and Karmendriya. Now, Jnanendriyas are receiving information, Karmendriyas are acting as per the input. But I think you all must be knowing that when with our physical body, when I repeat a certain physical pattern repetitively, if someone is playing kho-kho, if someone is playing kabaddi and has been training for it, then that comes very naturally to that person, isn't it? Even after a gap, if you throw a swimmer into water, that person will start swimming. Why? Because of the movement pattern that is created. And because of this movement pattern, this entire response of the stimulus reaching the sensory nerve and sending it to the brain deciding and firing a signal to the motor nerve to act, happens very quickly. It happens very quickly. Itna time nahi lagta hai. So same thing happens when we start practicing a same thought pattern again and again and again and again. So it comes as a reflex. So that knowledge and the response to the knowledge is very short. And that has started happening already. That has started happening already. Why do we feel uneasy when there is no phone with me? Why do I feel uneasy? Don't we all feel uneasy? Why? Because that pattern is gone into us. It is a part of us now. So that response comes very naturally. We feel that there is something missing which is very, very important. So, what Patanjali Rishi is telling us, Chitta Vritti Nirodha, you curb the thought waves. And then Patanjali Muni has also told us the types of Chitta Vrittis, again, which we all know, Pramana, Viparyaya, Vikalpa, Nidra and Smriti. And then again in Pramana is given types. But let us understand that all these 5 types of Chitta Vrittis are nothing but types of knowledge. Pramana is a thought wave. It is a Chitta Vritti. What kind of thought wave or Chitta Vritti it is? It is the impression or the thought wave of right knowledge, true knowledge, Satya Jnana. Viparyaya, again, is a type of thought wave, Chitta Vritti, Mithya Jnana, incorrect knowledge, or baseless knowledge, or dependent knowledge. Vikalpa, again, is a type of thought wave which is Vastu Shunya, baseless. Nidra, abhav, absence. So you could interpret it as absence of knowledge or knowledge of the absence of experience. Nidra. And Smriti is prior knowledge. Okay, so basically, when Patanjala Yoga Darshan is talking about Chitta Vritti Nirodha, it is not to be understood as just merely meditating and trying not to think about anything else but our alamban, object of meditation. It is not just that. It is very much talking about the process of knowledge. We have to see whether my process of knowledge itself is erroneous or it is correct. I have to verify if the sources of knowledge are erroneous or they are right. For example, we get so many WhatsApp forwards. Is that correct knowledge, praman? But then don't these WhatsApp forwards create so many chitta vrittis in us? They do. Because if they were not creating a thought wave or chitta vritti, we wouldn't be forwarding those WhatsApp messages. Why are we forwarding? Because it creates some kind of urge. Now, what kind of urge is that? Some asakti, no, some attachment, something that makes me feel that, oh, I need to share this with someone. It's not that you want to share knowledge or anything. No, no. It is just your mind which is telling you, just do this right now. That shortcut is created. Your brain is not coming into picture at all. Because if you use your brain, you would not be forwarding that message, isn't it? So when we are talking about the relevance of Patanjala Yoga Darshan in today's world, we have to first and foremost verify our sources of knowledge. Because everything is knowledge. Everything boils down to my understanding. And if the understanding itself is erroneous, then the entire foundation is going to be unstable. And whatever building I erect on that foundation is also going to be unstable. So if my knowledge is unstable, is not right, my responses, jnana and pratikriya, these two go hand in hand. If my knowledge is not right, pratikriya also is not going to be right. Because jnana equals to jnanendriya, pratikriya, karmendriya. Sensory nerves, motor nerves work hand in hand. Sense organs, action organs. They always talk to each other. So it becomes all the more important for us to understand the process of creating information, of perceiving information and its sources. Now we also have to understand if in today's world, knowing more is creating a problem. And when I want to know more, am I really knowing it, or am I just, it's like I don't wear saris, but I buy so many saris and I have heaps of saris in my cupboard. I don't use them. Is that what is happening with knowledge? So we have to think about it. Are we able to discriminate between knowledge and information? And when we are talking about chitta vritti nirodha, what kind of chitta vrittis are to be curbed? Klishta, aklishta, two types of chitta vrittis. First of all, we need to understand if this particular thought wave is giving me pain. Is it going to be creating some kind of klesh in future? We all know 5 kleshas, avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, viniveshaha. So what happens is, whenever I am knowing something, it creates a primary thought wave. And in today's world, as the process of knowledge and knowing is becoming so fast and quick, asmita is on rise. Everyone has this ego. My teacher used to say about a particular person, and I really used to like that description then. I didn't have much of knowledge then, I would say, but I used to just like this description. He would say, when this XYZ person enters the room, ego enters first and then the person enters. Like that. So whenever I I've got something additional. Why do I feel I want to forward? Because I want to show, this is something that I have known first. I am the first one. I'm the first. So that's a small thing. But it is ego. It's nothing else. It is asmita. And we are experiencing it every now and then. Imagine the kind of mode in which our nervous system is operating. What kind of impact nervous system will be having due to this speed, this sensory overload? And are we using our knowledge of Patanjali Yoga Darshan to eliminate what I don't need from this sensory overload? That is something we all, as yoga researchers, as the yoga practitioners, yoga teachers, have to start thinking. And it is going to be all the more important because we all mostly have also started teaching online, isn't it? And because yoga teachers have also started teaching online, recording मिलेगा क्या? हाँ, ये तो सब लोग इसका आंसर देते हैं. And what is that urge of, saving all the recordings with me? You tell me, I'm sure you will agree, कोई भी recording नहीं देखता है. It just stays on the Google Drive. We don't see it. It just gives us a good feeling, the recording is there, okay? I can look at it anytime. But is it here? No, it's not knowledge. I just stay in that another chitta vritti which gives me a high, thinking that no, I have learnt it. No, you have not learnt it. It's just there on your Google Drive. It is not yet knowledge. It will turn into knowledge when you will know that I can safely delete it now. Chitta vritti nirodha. That is chitta vritti nirodha. Are we doing it? Or we are just accumulating, going on accumulating a lot of chitta vrittis. So we have to now start interpreting chitta vritti like this in today's world, because this is what today's world is. Every moment is a moment of knowledge, and it is dangerous. It's dangerous. Our brain need not have so much of input all the time. Our senses need not have so much of input all the time. They have to rest. And that is why deep sleep is so important. No? That is when our senses go to rest. We all are acting in the state of kshipta or vikshipta chitta bhumi, which is predominantly rajoguna, rajas. So even if probably we are sitting down, our physical body is not active, but our processing is still going on. And what do we do about that? What do we do about that? That is something which we all need to start thinking. And I feel that we need to start looking at Yoga Darshan and Yoga Sutras. Primarily, we can just, go on deeply studying. It's just my own interpretation probably. It's not that it must be like that. But what I feel is, even if we study the Pramana Viparyaya Vikalpa Nidra Smriti and interpret them in today's times, and one more sutra which I feel is very, very important, which connects us to this process of knowledge, and that sutra is from Vibhuti Pada. These sutras are from Samadhi Pada, third one, Vibhuti Pada. Okay, and that sutra is about Vyuthana Samskara and Nirodha Samskara. Do we all know that sutra? No? Because we don't study Vibhuti Pada much. Huh? We think Vibhutipad is all about those Ashtasiddhis and all. We don't have to look at it. But in Vibhutipad, the first 3-4 sutras talk about Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi, then Sanyama. We all studied till this point because it is in YCB syllabus. Hai na? So we study till this point. And after that comes Vyuthana and Nirodha Sanskar. We have to understand this. What is Vyuthana? Vyuthana is when your Jnanendriyas, when your sense organs are Bahirmukha, externalized. And when this happens continuously, which is what is happening in today's world, even if we are resting, our sense organs are active. Because we have alarm which rings so loudly, and then we get up. We start acting. So that is Vyuthana. Then there is Vyuthana Sanskar. When this happens repetitively, there is a Sanskar, a deep impression of this Vyuthana Vritti. And then Nirodha. Nirodha is being able to pacify the externalized sense organs. That is Nirodha. And then Nirodha Sanskar. When you practice it repetitively, again, what happens? That Sanskar, Nirodha Sanskar, is deepened. It creates a deep impression. So we always say in Marathi again, कळतंय पण वळत नाही. है ना? We all say, अरे हां, मला हे सगळं कळतं ग, पण वळतच नाही. But I always feel, no, that's not correct. आपल्याला कळतच नाही. Knowledge is not happening, and that is why वळत नाही. There is no connection, कळतंय पण whatever you know, it is very easy to act according to that. But what happens is, we start focusing on doing something. Tell me what should I do, I will do that. No, don't start doing. First spend some time in understanding, why am I asking you to do this? नॉलेज पे ज़्यादा टाइम बिताएंगे तो जो एक्शन करनी है वो अपने आप आ जाएगी. देन वी डोंट हैव टू से कळतंय पण वळत नाही. नेवर वी विल हैव टू से दैट. सो वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ टुडेज टाइम्स is that the knowledge is not happening. And we have to now start looking at this Patanjala Yoga Darshan from a different perspective. It has already told us what is the process of knowledge and how you can understand what is to be eliminated, what vrittis are to be eliminated. And if we reread these sutras, I think from this perspective, each one of us will find our own method. As I said in the beginning, we had 200 interpretations of the story, visualizations of the story that I narrated. So there will be 200 methods. Once each one of us knows what the problem is and what thought wave I need to eliminate and what are the triggers, then each one of us will find a method. I think I will stop here because she tells me that my time is up. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an informative session and for throwing light on the Patanjali Yoga Darshan. This particular session, I must say, will not only benefit the yoga practitioners over here, but also for our BP and MP students who we are trying to build our career in the field of movement educators. So some of your concepts and the knowledge that we gained today was truly remarkable. Thank you so much. Now I request Dr. Pallavi Kavane to kindly felicitate Sucheta ma'am. Let's give a big round of applause. Once again, thank you so much, ma'am.
We can take about 2 to 3 questions if you have any. Yes, sir. 1 minute, I'm going to send the mic. Madam, please have a seat. तिथे द्यायचं आहे.
Hello. Sorry. So very thank you for your very informative knowledge about on Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Only 2 questions I have got in my mind. One thing is when you describe Patanjali Yoga Sutra on the basis of knowledge, and when you relate with the knowledge of the world, when somebody relates with the knowledge of the world, both these are knowledges. Now, the difference between the knowledge of the world and the knowledge of what Patanjali Sutra is telling us remains as it is, as what I think. If we don't go through the experience part of it, the last part, which is very important for everybody, for us to know. So I want to ask you is that even if I know the full knowledge of Patanjali Yoga Sutra, or even if I say Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya and all these things, but that experience part or the wisdom part which I really should be knowing or really should be experiencing that, only then that knowledge should become my own. So what is your suggestion that a person should go through to really experience even a small bit of one slok is enough of Patanjali Yoga Sutra, as you know it very well, to experience it and then anusad je karaycha de. So please shed some light on these aspects. Yeah,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for that question. So I will answer. If I have not understood your question correctly, then please stop me, okay? If my answer is not in line with what you have asked. So I hear a couple of words from you. One is experience, okay? And then you also said that the difference will remain the same. Now, first thing, what we are saying is, we are not talking about having the knowledge of Patanjala Yoga Darshan. That is correct, that is different. But my point is to understand what knowledge is. What is knowledge? Having knowledge of Patanjala Yoga Darshan and understanding what knowledge is are 2 different things. Everyone gets this, right? These are 2 different things. This is a knowledge of something, and there is understanding what knowledge is. These are 2 different things. Okay? So firstly, we have to understand this. So in that relation, knowing or having the knowledge of Patanjala Yoga Darshan becomes a tool to know what knowledge is. So it becomes one of the tools. Okay? So that's one thing. Secondly, when we talk about experience, now when I'm talking about knowledge, experience is always subjective. As I was saying, we all had 200 chitta vrittis, 200 experiences after hearing my story. So experience is always subjective. But what knowledge is, knowledge in without any coloring, that is not subjective. The process of understanding the knowledge could be subjective. It could be my own process. Okay? But what knowledge is it is Sat. What is? Are you getting this? Jo hai, wo kya hai? Knowledge hai. So knowledge is about what is. Okay? Now what do I do to get it? Now, it just depends on, again, we come to the paths of yoga. What one does to have that experience just depends on everyone's constitution. And that is why I said, first step is we have to understand what I need to eliminate, what I need to stop when I'm talking about Chitta Vritti Nirodha. At least do I know what is giving me sorrow, or am I mistaking what is giving me sorrow as a thing which is giving me pleasure? Is there a lack of vivek here? Vivek buddhi. So that's the first step. When you understand it, you can start finding the path for you. And as we all know, it could be a path of experience, which will take you, say, towards Kundalini Yoga. For some, it could be a path of devotion. For some, it could be a path of sheer knowledge, Jnana Yoga. For some, it is the practice, through the practice of asanas, someone could get that knowledge. Because what will be the first step is when I understand and I'm able to discriminate the understanding that I'm getting about myself. That is druk darshana shaktyoho ekatmata. That has happened. So what has happened is, what I see, I feel that is me. So I may start thinking that what I am experiencing is me. So I am experiencing that. Isn't it? It's like I am happy, I am sad, I am a yogi, I am a jnana yogi, I am a bhakti yogi, I am a student of Chandrashekhar, Agashe, whatever it is. What has happened here? 3 words. I am and then something. Okay. Now, when I drop the third part, what remains? I am. Okay. When I drop the I, what remains? Am. That is ease. It is the form of being, to be. So what are the ways of experiencing it is something, then that was my point. That first step we have to understand and introspect and understand how do I interpret as knowledge in today's times, and what kind of knowledge is probably causing sensory overload, and because of which I am losing my vivek buddhi. When I eliminate that, I will be able to find my path, is what I feel. Can you use a microphone? I'm not able to hear.
You already mentioned that knowledge is the most important aspect. Before we, at least we should know what is sukha and what is dukkha. That has to be there. At listening and reading and from a guru. What I was really expecting as an answer is that what is that experience we gain from the knowledge which really keeps that knowledge with you for your lifetime. Because see, like I quoted, Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. People, I can just explain from the knowledge point of view, but have I experienced Brahma Satya Jagat? So in that angle, I want to get some clarification.
So what I would say is, knowledge is not to be experienced; it is just to be known. Right? So what will be the experience after knowing that knowledge? Is that what you are asking? Okay, I get it. So how do you know that, okay, this is this knowledge? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, see, when I know that this particular knowledge is giving me X amount of happiness, so I say that this is what the knowledge I should be having.
Correct.
Then I go and upgrade myself to a higher aspect of knowledge, the subtlety of the knowledge. And I say, yeah, this is what I was looking for, the happiness aspect. So as we go on upgrading our knowledge to the subtle aspects of our personality and find out that, okay, 90% of my personality I am happy with. I'm not getting disturbed with any viksheep, any nothing. Nothing is disturbing. I'm happy with what I'm 90%. So this subjective experience of happiness. Is it that aspect which really helps you to grow? Because there is no other thumb rule or no other indicator
Very
which will
true.
really tell you that, okay, you have got this knowledge.
Yes,
As a
yes.
subjective experience, only happiness can give you.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So see, what I would say is, if I have to study a cell, if I have to study a cell in my body, okay, I will use a microscope as a tool. I can't say, no, I have to look at that cell only through my eyes and let me look at it. If I have to hear some sound which is beyond the audible frequency of my ears, I have to use some external tool to do that. है ना? So for this, to know this also, you have to start exploring new tools. Now, what are those new tools? The first step is to understand that the tools that I have could be erroneous. So having complete dependency on your sensory organs to know the knowledge is not going to help. And as you said, it is complete, I would say it is just your inner calling. Subjective happiness. See, if I feel happy and satisfied and content all the time, these questions will not come to me. Then there is no jhanjat of knowing and.
But it doesn't happen that way because we are infinite beings and nobody knows that. So that is the reason which always makes us go for another upgradation of happiness.
So if one is already feeling satisfied and happy and not really being moved by anything and is able to give thoughtful responses than just quick reactions, then it's good, it's fine. That is the answer.
Thank you for your
Thank
valuable time.
Thank you. One last question, she tells me.
कोहम योगशाळाबद्दल काही थोडेसं आम्हाला सांग. कोहम योगशाळाबद्दल काही तुम्ही हायलाइट केलं तर थोडा अंदाज येईल आम्हाला.
Okay, yeah, I think she will be able to give you that. That's what he is asking now. What? Okay, so it's so yes, I have this institute which is in Pune in Patwardhan Bagh, Koham, and we have regular asan classes, we have pranayam classes, but this is not really the platform where I want to talk about my institute. But yes, we have these scriptural studies programs and other courses. One of a beautiful course which I feel I should talk about it is Chitta Vijnana, which we are launching from on 27th of February. It's going to be the second batch. But yeah, I think that's it. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
You can talk to her, ask more questions during the tea break. Now we're going to have a tea break for 10 minutes, after which we will have Dr. Bhogal's session. Before you leave, it is exactly 10 minutes, so you grab hold of your cup of tea and madam and ask as many questions as you want. Thank you. We will be resuming the session at 3:15 sharp. Thank you.
This will be the second last session of today's program. I would like to welcome Mr. Ranjit Bhogal. He will be conducting a practical session with us. Over to you, sir.
सगळ्यांना नमस्कार. आपण फक्त शांती ही अनुभवणार आहोत. शांतीविषयी किंवा शांततेविषयी विचार वगैरे करणार नाही आहोत. शांतीचा जे काय अर्थ आपल्या मनात अभिप्रेत आहे आपल्याला, तो अर्थ घेऊन आपण फक्त मी इंग्लिशमध्ये बोलणार होतो का, विसरलो. किती जणांना मराठी अजिबात येत नाही, हात वर करा. one. Okay, I will speak in English. थोडंफार इकडे तिकडे करू शकेन. Okay. Well, we have to feel silence. Just silence. Without thinking what actually silence is. Just to be in silence for a few minutes, 1 or 2 minutes. Just the silence. Silence. While you are in silence at this moment, just let us get reminded of Shankaracharya's 5 important preparation points for meditation. Yogasya prathamam dvaram vanga nirodha parigraha nirasha cha niriha cha nityekanta shelata. Number 1, please do not speak even to your own self as far as possible. And of course, never speak to others. At least half an hour or 15 minutes prior to your meditation session. Second, do not think about your very much valuable things you are possessing at this time or somewhere you have kept. Time out. Should not think about them, about these things at this moment. Third, do not expect anything from anybody, even near and dear ones, because expectations are rarely met. And secondly, expectations are increasing like anything, so the person in front will not be able to fulfill them. And this is unknowing process. Fourth, do not depend on anyone for any purpose. Just do and die on your own feet. At least whenever you are into meditation, you are alone. We have to take shelter in shelterlessness. Nira lambacha kela avalamba. We are going into zero state, but in a very conscious way. Silence. And the fifth one is, as far as possible, we have to observe silence. Now simply silence. Simply for 60 seconds. Simply silence. allow your eyes to get open without opening your eyes. Just feel as if eyes are getting open. I repeat, without opening your eyes, feel as if they are getting open. And they get open slowly, gradually, most natural way. In fact, meditation, that is dhyan, happens. The word dhyan has the breakup like dhye and an. Artha dha, ya, and don matra. Dhye, an. An is lut pratyay. It means devotional longing. Longing, but it is devotional. And therefore, there is no trace of attachment. But still we want something. What a wonder. It means it is a zero state. We want something, we wish something, but we are completely in devotion. So this brings us into zero state, conscious zero state. From there, our journey into meditation starts. When we allow our eyes to get open, same way we have to allow our eyes to get closed. Allowing our eyes to get closed. Because we are drashta, we are seer. We cannot be doer. Problem happens whenever we feel that we are doer. Because there is apprehension. Feeling of failure may lurk immediately in. Whenever we do anything. But when we don't do anything, we are simply watching, we are seeing, we are seer. How come all kinds of problems will happen? Therefore, dhyan or yoga meditation is not a thing to do. Classically speaking, you cannot meditate, no one can. And there are no techniques of meditation available anywhere in the world, classically speaking. Techniques are available up to dharana. There are 112 methods of dharana in Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. But one thing is more, very important. Before meditation, you have to bring in samadhi bhava, appropriate feeling that goes towards meditation. It is mental set that is to be prepared before meditation. And it is done through Sagarva Pranayama, very effectively. And so also Kriya Yoga, yesterday we spoke about. So Anulom Vilom Pranayama, I think everybody knows, I presume. And if you do not know, you can get it learned from somebody who is well versed in Anulom Vilom Pranayama. Now we will have two, that is Om recitation, Omkar. Omkar. Kar means sound. Om, sound of Om. And therefore it should not be Am. Am is not possible because Omkar, Jhankar, Tankar. So, sound of tongue, sound of Jhang, sound of Om, Omkar, please remember. So, do not recite Om. No, flat. Kharje tone, barka. In bass tone. So, please, breathing in. No. You are doing the same mistake. Om. No. No. Please. No. Avaz ghumavaitsa nahi. You don't have to make it kind of, say, sonorous sound which reverberates. No. Those who are into Indian musical, say, system, they know something. The first lesson is given by their guru is Riyaz. Flat, flat. Ridya Vichinnam Unkaram. Ghanta Nadam Bisonvat. Should be U, it becomes O. So you can directly come to O2. O, but not O. It is popular term which is there in the mass media. Om Shanti Om Tasa Kadhis Karunaka Te Chukisa Hai. Yes. Ritya Vichinnam Unkaram. When you are having this low pitch and low tone, then we have a lot of vibrations here. So, Ritya Vichinnam Unkaram. When you come to Ma, then it should get it tapered off, right? So, flat, right from the beginning to end, 3 seconds. But before that, you can have breathing in for 4 seconds. So please, breathing in 4 seconds. It's better, but not so good. Now this side it is better, but here still they are persisting with usual mass media onkar. It is not okay. We have to be very alert about mass media. They are doing more bad than good, to be very frank. Good. Again you are doing I repeat. Flat. Ghantanadam. Tan. Lord Krishna says, Ghantanadam. Tan. Don't do no. And then tenderness should be there in the ma. So please, with me, recite. Tenderness. Very good. Now continue. Without mixing your intonation with others. Swar mein swar nahi milana. It is not chorus. So, continue. Breathing in. You are doing no. Ghantanadam. Tan. It tapers off. Sound of the bell, right? So, please. Good, wonderful. Continue. You are again doing mistake because when I say it is wonderful, you started making mistake. So, breathing in. Good. Taper off, taper off. Continue. No. Mistake. Flat. Continue. And now we have Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhur. Only this much, please. Om Bhur. Only this much, whatever I say, only that much you have to recite. Om Bhur Bhuvaha. Om Bhur Bhuvaha. ती सवय जात नाही ना. ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः. ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः. नाही, ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः. कारण इथे रेग तशी आहे. फॉर दॅट रिझन. ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः. तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः नः yes prachodayat. Om Om Bhurbhuva Swaha. This is Vyarti. It is not part of Gayatri. Therefore, we do it only once. Well, if you do every time, it's okay, but no need. So, Tatsaviturvarenam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Tatsaviturvarenam Continue. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Lowest pitch and lowest tone. Tatsaviturvarenam Bhargo. Chalu. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Tatsaviturvarenam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Devasya. रेग है ना. धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. ओम तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. Om. Shant, silence. Just remain in silence. at this moment, your breath is very slow. Just feel your breath as it is. Maybe your breath is a bit faster, so you have to feel faster breathing without changing it to slow mode. No need. If your breath at this moment is erratic or disturbed, you have to continue to feel disturbed breathing without changing it. Please remember, you don't have to change. This is one of the three most important Buddhist techniques of breathing awareness. Breathing awareness. Just feel your breath, whether it is faster or slower or disturbed, that is erratic. You don't have to make any changes in your breath. Your job is only to feel your breath as it is. As it is. Suppose your breath is now slow, but all of a sudden it becomes faster, quicker. Well, continue to feel then quick breathing. Or when it becomes disturbed, feel disturbed breathing. Continue this for 30 seconds only. Do not try to change, but if changes happen automatically from the other side, you can follow suit. It means you are not changing your breath. If the breath changes on its own from slowness to quickness, okay, you can feel as it is. If it becomes erratic, feel erratic breathing or disturbed breathing. Do not change. You will feel that when you continue with this, your breath not only becomes slow, but it becomes full of feelings. It becomes slow, at the same time it becomes full of feelings. And this stage is known as samprayoga. Samprayoga means full experiential way of feeling. It happens. And now, we are going to have one pratyahara which is very important. You are having breath which is full of feeling now. Breathing in, and you feel some feeling along with your breathing in. Breathing out, and you are feeling some feeling along with your breathing out process. Natural way. Remember, natural way. You are not doing anything. In meditation, doing is not recommended. Well, in the beginning, little bit, yes. We know it is known as prayoga, and then we come to samprayoga. That is experiential way of doing anything is samprayoga. And ultimately, we reach samprasada. That is the outcome, the effect, the absolute joy. That happens. You don't have to think about it. So feeling your breath as it is. If you feel this breath even for 10 to 20 times, you become calmed down. Particularly before examination, have this type of breathing in and breathing out. Your breath is rhythmic and full of experiential phenomenon. And now, as breathing in takes place, feel what is happening at the tip of your nose. As breathing in takes place, what is happening at the tip of your nose? As breathing out takes place, what is happening at the tip of your nose? Whatever is happening, that is important, not to imagine anything, remember. Breathing in, tip of the nose, what is happening? Some kind of unique sensations. Breathing out, what is happening? Some kind of unique sensation at the tip of the nose. Continue. And now, without using your breath, directly feel tip of the nose. What is happening there? Feeling, sensations, whatever. Breathing in and breathing out, we are not using. Straightway we are feeling at the tip of the nose. Some unique feeling. And now come to tip of your tongue. Tip of your tongue. Breathing in. What is happening at the tip of your tongue? Even if your mouth is closed now, but still you feel some sensation at the tip of the tongue. Breathing in. What is happening at the tip of the tongue? Breathing out. What is happening over there? Continue. Breathing in, tip of the tongue. Unique sensations are there, right? And breathing out. Now, straightway, without using your breath, feel what is happening at the tip of the tongue. Unique sensation. Swa-vishaya asamprayoge chitta sarupanukari vindriyanam pratyahara. It means very positive way we are weaning away our sense of olfaction from its object, that is the tip of the nose. So we control in a very positive way. You remain sensitive, of course. It doesn't mean you don't remain sensitive to the object of fragrance. You become, but you have natural control, natural, positive. And then tip of the tongue, it is said that when you just feel tip of the nose like this one for 2 minutes, your mind becomes calm, particularly before examination or when some questions are too difficult for you. Calm yourself down. Just 1 or 2 minutes, pay attention to tip of your nose. This is what Gorakshanath says in Siddha Siddhanta Paddhati. And when you feel the tip of your tongue, most natural way, we have positive control even on our weight and also all different types of diseases. As Gorakshanath says that all diseases are checked. Remember, all diseases are checked when you feel attention on the tip of the tongue. Breathing in, tip of the tongue, breathing out, tip of the tongue. Now, without using your breath, feel tip of the tongue. Unique sensation. And now let us come to uvula, padjeeb. In Marathi we call it kakua in Hindi. Uvula, which is hanging inside the throat, in the hollow of the throat. Just feel that. Breathing in, what do you feel at uvula? Some sensations. And when you breathe out, some sensation. Breathing in, continue. Some sensation at uvula, inside, padjeeb or kakua, in uvula in English. Breathing out, again, what is happening there? It has got tremendous connection with your eyesight. So you have positive control on your eyesight, your vision, so your eyes will not move unnecessarily towards their attraction and they will not disturb you. And now without using breath, directly feel uvula, that is the padjeeb or that is the kakua, right? Just feel it directly. And now come to middle of the tongue. It is associated with touch sensation. You become master of touch sensation. And touch sensations become more sensitive to you, but yet you are master of it if you continue with this practice. The breathing in the middle of the tongue, what is happening? Breathing out, in the middle of the tongue, what is happening? some sensations. Continue. Breathing in, middle of the tongue. Breathing out, middle of the tongue. Now, without using your breath, directly feel middle of the tongue. Middle of the tongue. What are the sensations? Oh. And now, lastly, come to root of the tongue. Just root of the tongue. It is associated with your hearing, that is auditory sense. Breathing in, what is happening at the root of the tongue? Breathing out, what is happening? Continue. Breathing in, what is happening at the root of the tongue? Root of the tongue. And breathing out, what is happening? Without making use of your breath, straightway you can feel root of the tongue. What are the sensations? What are the feelings? What is happening over there? And now, just feel your whole body from inside. Your body from inside is completely calm and quiet now because you have very positive control on your all five senses. Yes, still sometimes senses may move here and there, but it's okay. That much is fine. In general, you are feeling some kind of abstract kind of thing happening within the body, which you cannot describe into words. If I ask you to describe what is happening inside the body, you will say that yes, something is happening, but what exactly, I don't know. Exact words are not there to describe, and you cannot describe, because it is so abstract. It is samapatti, yesterday we were speaking about. It is samapatti, nirvichar samapatti. Nirvichar means not the thought, but without all kinds of emotion, including thoughts. So, it means you feel something, but you cannot supply words. It is nirvichar samapatti. That means you are only feeling something, something, something throughout the body. Otherwise also when you come to a doctor, sometimes you say that, doctor, in my body some bizarre kind of thing is happening. Kasa tari hota hai mara. Doctor says, what exactly? You can't say anything, but something is happening. That is abstract. At this moment also you are feeling some kind of such thing which you cannot describe, but you can feel it within the whole body. Both the legs, both the arms, whole body from inside. काय ना काय घडत आहे बुवा. नेमकं काय घडत आहे ते कळायला मार्ग नाही, त्याची आवश्यकताही नाही. What we know is we need only feeling. Something happening throughout the whole body. Something is happening throughout the whole body. Something is happening. Continue. And when you continue with something happening, that is abstract awareness within the whole body. Remember, both the legs, something. Both the arms, something. That is abstract awareness. And your head, chest, abdomen, back, whole frame of the body, some sort of things are happening. Continue. At the same time, see what is the effect of it. Continue with something happening throughout the whole body. Something. See, you have to feel in a very general way. ढोबळ मानाने आपल्याला अनुभवायचं आहे. Not precise way. No precise way. In a very general way. Something happening throughout the whole body. In a very easy way, casual way. Something happening throughout the whole body. Now, at the same time, you have to see what is the effect like. See, two things you have to do at the same time, almost at the same time. Number one, something happening throughout the whole body. Something happening throughout the whole body. What's the effect of it? Some good effect you feel. See? So when you come home tired, you can do this in lying down posture also. Feeling whole body for some time. And this is what Lord Shiva says, Uttan Shayane Bhumo Saptva Dhyayet Nirantaram Sadhya Shama Vinashaya Swayam Yogi Vichakshana. In lying down posture, if you feel whole body for some time, you start feeling some soothing effect. You remain in that soothing effect for some time and you are refreshed. Within shortest possible time, you become refreshed. So try it at home. It's a very simple takeaway message from here. So whole body awareness. This means when you lie down, feel whole bodies, abstract awareness, and then continue, you start feeling something good. Remain in that something good for some time. That's all, so simple. And now, continue with something happening throughout the body. What is the effect of it? Something is happening. That is abstract awareness throughout the whole body. Abstract awareness throughout the whole body. Something. What is the effect of it? I feel some soothing effect. Now just feel this soothing effect within your mind. Just watch it within your mind. Whenever we feel whole body for some time, it is for sure you feel some soothing effect. It is for sure. And then when soothing effect happens, you have to just watch it within the mind. I say watch it within the mind. This soothing effect becomes deeper and deeper and deeper. And the time comes, it becomes deepmost and silence. It becomes silence, just the silence. Now remain in silence for a while. Just the silence. Only silence, whatever it means to you. And if mind wanders, bring your mind back to silence. No problem. It is not a problem at all. Don't worry. Again mind wanders, bring it back to silence. Just the silence. Only silence. Just the silence. Only silence. Only silence. Just the silence. Only silence. You have some silence, some good impact, good effect at this moment. Some good effect. Just watch this good effect and feel this good effect at your Swadhisthana chakra. Swadhisthana chakra is at the root of your genitals. Swadhisthana chakra is at the root of your genitals. Feel there the silence. Just continue to feel there. Silence at Swadhisthana chakra. Silence at Swadhisthana chakra. Silence. Then something starts happening there at Swadhisthana chakra. And if that starts happening something, just feel what is happening in the middle of your head. In the middle of your head. That is Ajna chakra. Just feel in the middle of your head. Continue to feel that in a general way. And if you continue to feel in a general way, after a while you start feeling something unique is happening there. And when you feel something unique happening there, now your job is to feel Swadhisthana chakra first and then Ajna chakra. Silence at Swadhisthana chakra, just feel silence at Swadhisthana chakra. And feel silence at Ajna chakra. Silence at Swadhisthana chakra. Silence at Ajna chakra. One after the other. Continue. one after the other. Continue. 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 One after the other. Swadhisthana chakra, silence. Ajna chakra, silence. Something starts happening at the top of your head if you continue this. Something starts happening there at top of your head. That is Sahasrara chakra. And if you feel something really happening there, now your job is to feel Swadhisthana chakra, silence at Swadhisthana chakra, and silence at Sahasrara chakra, silence at Swadhisthana chakra, and silence at Sahasrara chakra, silence, Swadhisthana, silence, Sahasrara chakra. Continue, continue, silence, Swadhisthana, silence at Sahasrara chakra. And then, any moment, something starts happening at 12-finger chakra from top of the head. It is Vyapini chakra, discovered by Lord Shiva. 12-finger, roughly, do not measure. Just roughly 12 fingers from top of the head, just feel silence over there. Silence at Vyapini chakra. Vyapini chakra means expansion and expansion, skies and skies and skies. And now Swadhisthana chakra, silence, and feel silence at Vyapini chakra. Silence at Swadhisthana chakra. Silence at Vyapini chakra. One after the other, just continue to feel. One after the other, silence at Swadhisthana chakra, silence at Vyapini chakra. Silence, Swadhisthana, silence, Vyapini chakra. And in this process, if you feel something is happening deeper, deeper above, if at all, now your job is to feel that chakra. We are moving towards Brahma Shikhar. Unique bliss may happen, but do not imagine. Just feel if something is happening above 12-finger chakra, that is Vyapini. Just feel that chakra, and then Swadhisthana chakra, silence over there, and silence at that chakra above Vyapini chakra. Silence. Both the chakra. Swadhisthana chakra, silence, and that new point, it is Brahma Dwar. Just feel silence. Continue one after the other. Continue one after the other. At any moment, you feel unique bliss somewhere, somewhere. It is Brahma Shikhar you are entering in. But then do not imagine. Please remember. Let it happen. If you continue like this, Swadhisthana chakra, and that point, silence at Swadhisthana, silence at that point, silence at Swadhisthana. Any moment you may have that blissful state, blissful point, Brahma Shikhar. We are moving towards it. Silence, just the silence. Just for 60 seconds, only silence. Forget about all kinds of chakra and something. Just the silence. Only silence. Just the silence. Just the silence. Only silence. Just listen to my Bija mantra. I am just feeling silence at Mooladhara, base chakra. Base chakra is in between genital and anal opening. In between anal opening and genital. In between that. Feel that point. While I recite, Bij mantra. You may not recite it. You can listen only. Listening Bij mantra also is very helpful. Lam. You can feel that Muladhar, that is base chakra, in between genital and anal opening. Feel that, what is happening there? As I recite, Lam. Your attention is there at that chakra, but the impact can be felt upward also, no problem. Lam. Now come to root of your genital, that is Swadhisthana chakra. Vam. Listen to this Bija mantra and feel what is happening at Swadhisthana chakra. Vam. And what is happening upward. And now Manipur chakra, it just below your Nabhi, little bit below your Nabhi inside. Therefore it is many times known as Nabhi chakra. Ram. Feel the impact there at Nabhi chakra, but the impact also can be felt upward. Ram. Now feel your heart chakra. And for this, Yam. Feel the sound. What I am reciting, Yam. At your heart, some impact can be felt upward. Yam. And now come to the middle of your throat, that is Swadhisthana, that is the Vishuddhi chakra. Vishuddhi chakra. Now here we have Hum. Feel the hollow of your throat, Vishuddhi chakra. Hum. Hum. And now feel the Ajna chakra. Ksham. K-S-H-A-M. Ksham. 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 Now Sahasrara chakra. Bij mantra is Om. 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 Now just remain at Sahasrara chakra for a while. Just you are there and there is silence at Sahasrara chakra. Only silence. Only silence. And now just forget all kinds of chakra and you have to remain in silence. Silence, when fructifies, it gets matured. You enter into meditation, that is dhyana. So let us feel that. Just the silence. No chakra, nothing else, forget everything. Just only and only silence. Just the silence. Only silence. Only silence. Just the silence. Just the silence. We are going to finish within 5 minutes, do not worry, just the silence. Just 30 more seconds to go, simply silence. Just 30 more seconds to go, simply silence. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Eyes are closed for a few seconds. Eyes are closed for a few seconds. Any moment you may allow your eyes to get open, as if automatically, slowly they are getting open, just on their own accord. Take your own time. No need to hurry up. Thank you very much. It was one of the best groups I have seen. So silent, so pin drop silence, and so much application on your part. Thank you very much. I am so happy. Dhanyavad. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for such peaceful and relaxing experience. Now I request Dr. Sopan Kangde to kindly present the token of appreciation to Ranjit sir. Let's give a big round of applause.
Namaskar.
The next session will be the last session for the evening, followed by the closing ceremony.
We will be sharing a link for the feedback form on the Telegram group. I request all of you to kindly share your feedback and comments and also suggestions for our improvement. In case you haven't joined the Telegram group yet, we will share the link with you personally. Till 6 o'clock, 6 पर्यंत. घेऊन या ना मॅडम. पल्लवी मॅडम पल्लवी मॅडम पल्लवी घेऊन येत आहे The next speaker is actually the chief guest of the closing function. However, it will be a pleasure to listen to his delivery, and hence we have managed some extra time for him, about 45 minutes, post which we will have the closing ceremony. Tea will be served after the closing ceremony is over. I also request some of the delegates to offer the feedback and your reviews and comments here on the stage. If anybody would like to share in brief the feedback during the closing ceremony, please send me your name or kindly contact one of the volunteers so that I can declare that name during the closing ceremony. Thank you. Let's welcome Dr. Ishwar Basavareddy sir. Although he's the chief guest of the closing function, we requested him to come and deliver his speech little before the closing ceremony so that we can listen to him for a longer period of time, since the closing ceremony is going to be a short span. I would briefly introduce him, and again I will give the introduction little later also in the closing ceremony. So let us welcome Dr. Ishwar Basavareddy, a stalwart in the field of yoga and traditional medicine. And his career spanned over 36 years, and he has made remarkable contribution in the promotion and advancement of yoga education, research and therapy. He was the former director of Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga for over 18 years, and it is under his leadership that the institute expanded and modernized, establishing its global center of yoga education and research. I welcome sir on behalf of Maharashtra Mandal and request sir to please give his speech. Thank you.
ये है ये कौन सा दोनों चाहिए
Closing ceremony.
What time I have to come?
Around 25 minutes. 5:15 we will start.
45, that's why I prepared
We
40.
start. Yes.
Okay, half an hour.
Yeah.
Okay. योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचा मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोत्तं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मिन् पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानितोऽस्मिन् ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः
My pranams to you all. At the outset, I congratulate the principal and all the organizing committee members of this esteemed college for organizing such a wonderful conference and workshops to promote yoga in its traditional but scientific approach. I was attended one morning session. It was a huge response from the students and delegates who are participating in this conference. I will take some 25-30 minutes, and then if time permits, how this mind-body relations can be established. I would like to have some small demonstration and practical session if time permits. No, this is not. And this is not. ये slide नहीं. दूसरा दे दीजिए. Laptop line. Meanwhile, I will continue. So today we are talking about yoga, and you are all, many of you are youngsters, have seen the growth of yoga almost from more than 4.5 decades. I started my first yoga asana practice, not the yoga practice. Yoga practice started in my mother womb. But asana I learned in 1975 when I was in 7th standard. But over the 3.5 decades of my professional career, I have seen वो आया नहीं, मैं जानता हूँ, ये आया नहीं, ये आना चाहिए. I modified, I took 3 hours for this. So I have seen the many changes in the practice of yoga. As in the morning, we have seen that earlier there were one-to-one teaching. So Kuvalananji, Yogendraji. So this part of our nation witnessed a very eminent yoga masters with a beautiful tradition. And in that case, again, okay. So then slowly it comes to the classroom. So then slowly there are so many things have been changed, and traditional teachers oppose those practices because it's against the tradition. There are various kinds of yoga, and there are various styles of yoga nowadays. During the last nearly 3 decades, 90s onwards, we have seen the power yoga, heart yoga, Iyengar yoga, vinyasa, so many things in the Western countries, they are very popular. But we've forgotten our roots, Jnana yoga, Bhakti yoga, Karma yoga, Hatha yoga, Kundalini yoga, Raja yoga, Mantra yoga, Laya yoga. Each schools have their philosophical foundations and independent practices. I did PhD on these yogic schools and their foundations. So that was a wonderful journey, being a student of physics, and I switched over to philosophy and yoga. Then I found the beauty of our tradition, it's a culture. It's a culture. Yoga is not only just a practice, it's Indian culture, how we live. So the entire thing in G20 we promote, it's a Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We live like a family. So what we eat, how our relationships are developed, how we organize our family and workplace, how we maintain the relationships, emotional bondings, all these things are mentioned in yoga. And I've seen slowly, it is those things are missing, and slowly only the physical component is now in the public domain. Yeah. So in this aspect, why I mentioned all these things, this conference is very, very important. I saw, by seeing the title when Pallavi called me, I agreed without any thought. So just it's yoga, mat to mind. That's how to connect the mind-body. It's a wonderful concept, and many experts are coming, you have listened to. So next I will chant. You can see this one, when Prime Minister Modi, in 2014, September 27th, when he proposed International Day of Yoga, he quotes that. Yoga is an invaluable gift of ancient Indian tradition and Indian culture. What it does, it embodies unity of, I've taken 4, mind and body, thought and action, restraints and fulfillment. Ups and downs in the life are common, and harmony between man and nature. These are the 4 important union. Today we are taking up mind and body, thought and actions, restraints and fulfillment next. So once these 3 happens, so man connects with the nature, and when we start living with the nature, our life becomes more wonderful, beautiful, happy. So that's why when accepting the June 21st as the International Day of Yoga, United General Assembly has resolved it's a harmony between, it is the holistic approach to health and well-being. Yoga is a holistic, it's not only the physical, it's a holistic approach for the health and well-being. So I'd given some thoughts for you, you can take it up, but how it can be done? So there are several yoga practices. I'm not going for any style of yoga. I'm not going for any schools of yoga like Bhakti Jnana. I'm taking only 3 components, how mind and body can integrate. So I mentioned I'm not taking any style like a younger style or any style, power or Vikram or something. I'm not taking any Bhakti, Jnana, Karma. I'm taking only one aspect, 3 practices of yoga, asana, pranayama and dhyana. Whenever we do asana, that's why yoga serves as the bridge between the physical body, the mat, and the mental realm, the mind, fostering the deep connection between the two. How it happens, I will demonstrate. So these are some of the important mind-body effect or impact, how mind-body works together when we do yoga practice. What you do in the yoga practice? You do some asana, you do some breathing practices, some relaxation, meditation. Usually we do this much every day. If you are regular practitioners, you do some kriyas, some nauli or something. Or if you are student of yoga, you do some higher practices. For a common man, 95-96% of the total population who are practicing yoga. So for them or for us, yoga is some practice of asana, pranayama or breathing practices and dhyana or relaxation. So when you do that, mindfully connecting the mind and body increases the attention and concentration. These are the research findings I am putting up. Deepening the sense of perception and awakening the latent areas, balancing hemisphere activities, left hemisphere and right hemisphere, and regulating the neurotransmitters and balancing HPA axis, increasing the alpha brain activities, most important. So for this, we have many tools in psychological world, but yoga connects with very, very easily. We'll demonstrate that. So then improve the sense of well-being, increase the sense of calmness, peace, facilitating healthy neuroplasticity. So we have a limited space. Many times we don't use. Because of stress, we are losing the concentration power, we are losing the space. So when you do yoga, especially the pranayama and meditation, slowly, slowly, your brains opens up and you are getting the new space like a cloud in the internet. So you are getting the more space for the storage. So these are the cognitive functions, emotions, physiology, physical body, etc. will get it. So these are some research. Now come to, with this background, with this small, how mind, body have the impact on our life, some research studies. Let us come to what tradition says. Gita says, Yuktahara viharasya yukta chestasu karmasu yukta swapnava bodhasya yogor bhavati dukkha. So there are 5 important things for the healthy lifestyle. So one is ahara, vihara, achara, vichara. So once you manage these 4 effectively, then we have the vyavahara, the behavior, what we behave, what we live, that depicts our personality, that depicts in our social order. So therefore, these 4, the food has influence our mind on mind and body. The vihara, the practice, the asana or any yoga practices for beautiful metabolic activities, that has the impact on our mind and body. The achara, the code of conducts we follow, especially the yama niyama we mentioned, that has made the impact on our mind and body. And the vichara, the thoughts and emotions, they have the impact both on mind and body. So these 4 have the impacts on our mind and body that depicts our behavior or personality or the behavioral modifications what we do yoga. So this is one wonderful sutra. Like this, I am taking the shlokas, I am developing the models. You are not practicing now common yoga protocol during the yoga day. When it was developed, we developed now. So it is more than 27 crore, 270 million people are practicing it. It's the biggest, so it's a public health initiative by any government. So how it is developed, I developed like this by taking the ancient shlokas, traditional shlokas, scientifically verify them, putting it in the proper format. So this format can be utilized. Once you format that, so first what it does, it reduces the stress. Stress is the common factor and you should have to accept it. Stress relieve karte nahi. You have to remain in the stress, but you have to manage the stress. So yoga practice help us to reduce the stress, increase the mindfulness, and increase the metabolism. Most importantly, the stress has the impact on 5 vital organs: the brain, the heart, lungs, liver, and kidneys. These are the 5. Especially the heart and lungs are mostly affected. Whenever you stress, our breathing activity changes. So it has a huge impact on our heart, and cardio-respiratory responses are being affected whenever we have stress. Then cortisols are removed, then many chemical changes are occurring. Therefore, it has impact on our metabolism. Once metabolism disturbed, our sleep pattern disturbs. So once we become adolescents, we have an urge for the sex, and that also going to impact. There are 4 instincts, my friends. You have to remember this. All our problems of our physical world are with these 4 natural instincts: ahara, bhaya, maituna, nidra. Ahara, nidra, bhaya, maituna are the 4 instincts of any animal. But we are human being. The God has given us the intelligence or the discrimination power. How best we can manage these 4, ahara, nidra, bhaya, maituna. So these are the instinct every human being has, even the yogis. But with this intellectual power, that yoga refined these 4 and make us better human beings. So therefore, metabolism happens, that enhances the sense of relaxation. So that will give it to the not the positive health or total well-being, mind-body connections. So how I made it? I developed, even Bhogalji was here, so we used to follow this. I used to follow in my intervention. How? First of all, I go for the detoxification. So we live in this world, we eat, we breathe, we drink water or many things. So it creates some toxins in the body. Sarve rogaha malavasha. Unless you throw the toxins out, you are not able to prevent the disease. Therefore, in yoga, we use detoxify the body and also the mind and also the negative emotions. There are some techniques and technologies. Because of shortage of time, I'm just mentioning it. So, second one is diet. Many people here, we are only seeing the asanas or some breathing or meditation. My friends, if you do all these things, but you don't manage your food, what to eat, what not to eat, and how to eat, so you are going to 50% your practice is going to be diluted. So diet modifications to the postural modification, we sit, we stand, talk, so many more wrong postures affect our psychophysical body, mind-body connections. Then relax, breathe modifications. Breathing also, sometimes we right breathing or right nostril breathing is dominating, left nostril breathing is dominating. Ultimately, it is balancing the both hemispheres. So that is the breathing activity. Then it leads to relaxation. Relaxation gives you the concentration. Prolonged concentration leads to meditation, which happens. Meditation brings a behavioral modification. It's a patented slide. Patented means it is verified for prolonged years of more than 3 decades. And this is the proper way of connecting mind and body. It's not only one asana or something like that. Unless you detoxify, unless you modify your diet according to the reason, season, day and night, unless you modify your postural patterns, breathe patterns, relaxation, and you cannot concentrate. There is no concentration, there is no meditation happens. If there is no meditation or mindful practices, there is no change in our lifestyle or the behavior. Therefore, mind-body integration takes place with this yogic intervention. So I had given you this one. So side one, if you want to quality control, if you go to any drugs, there is a quality control. Who are the quality controls in yoga? Yama niyamas are quality control. So if you, before going, the teacher or the instructor decides, will you need some modifications in diet? Will you need detoxification? Then, in the beginning you are practicing asana. I put it in a small circle. But in the beginning, asanas are more in number. Then pranayama or the breathing practices. Then it comes to dhyana. But once you start doing meditation, your practice of asanas has been reduced. Breathing or pranayama practice, what you are doing, they have been reduced. Dhyana is the yoga. Yoga Samadhi Vyasa says. So dhyana is the ultimate. So that dhyana brings a change in our personality. But dhyana cannot be taught. Dhyana happens. The teacher can give you idea, they show you the path. You, the person who practice it, see it, then it happens. You have to repeatedly do it in a scientific manner under the guidance of a teacher. Once dhyana happens, yoga begins. It's not the end of the yoga, that begins, my friends. Then how it works? I put the ahara and kriya, then asana, pranayama and dhyana. So you see now, once you do these three combined together, there is a balanced endocrinal neural functions, both autonomous and central nervous system. So that increases the mind-body coordination. So there is a sympathetic and parasympathetic. Whenever we do anuloma viloma or nadi shuddhi, it is intended to balance both, not increase or decrease. So it is intended to regulate your spinal activities, vagus control. It is intended to mind-body relationship. All your asanas are delivered like that. So then calm, relax, refresh when you are having a coordination between mind and body. That leads to health, happiness and harmony. Then what is the mechanism? Mechanism is this balanced nadi chakras, recognizing, reconditioning the annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha and manomaya kosha. increase mind-body coordination, and that leads to health and well-being. What's about quality of food, quantity of food? And I told you, Snigdha, Madhura, Chaturth. You are the students of yoga. You may be knowing it in Hatha Yoga. It means Snigdha, Madhura, Chaturtamshi Vurjita, Bhujyate Siva Samprita Mitahara. All these slokas, each slide has followed by the traditional slokas. I put it in English. So, that's one. What is the food? One is, it is the yuktahara. What to eat, what not to eat. It is patyahara. In the disease, what to eat and what not to eat. Pathya, apatya. Then it is mitahara. Mitahara is the yogic diet. These are the different stages of diet. But here we recommend for mind-body control mitahara. So that's once we do some asanas. So there is thiram, sukham, prayatna, shaitilyam, then tato dvandvana gatha. These are the 4 principles what Patanjali has given. So that's why stable, comfortable, effortlessness, merging with infinite. When you do that, how we do that asana? First one is the body movements, vinyasa. For Ustrasana, there is a pre-practices. If you want to do Ustrasana properly, there is a pre-practice and you have to manage that. And come to the Ustrasana, then how to do that? With breathing coordination. Each movement has the coordination of the breathing. Then it has the drishti in a particular point. Either you have to be there in the Nabhi Chakra or Vishuddha Chakra or in any, suppose morning we are doing it, so there concentrate on the thigh, hip thighs. Am I right? So like this, in each asana, your drishti is to be specific to balance the asana. Then you take the sthiti without any shakiness, thiram sukham. Then there is a relaxation in the final stage itself. Each asana should feel as a shavasana. This is the way how yoga should be done. In Delhi, when we start, people come, sir, we want to do Surya Namaskara very fast. I will take another 10 minutes, please. Another 10 minutes, please. So therefore, these are all very, very scientifically, I am putting at how to practice the asanas. We listen to, we become happy, but we don't feel it because we are not following the science of yoga. How to do asana? This is the way. Unless you feel relaxed, thiram sukham, this is not asana at all. There is no mind-body coordination. There is no yoga. So then I can put the alignment principles. I will skip all these things. I've used all the 3 cordial planes. Whenever I'm teaching, if somebody comes, I will explain it to how I bring the mind-body coordination. Okay. So next, how it impact our central nervous system, what chakras I have to specifically in Ustrasana what chakra, in Shalabhasana what chakra, in Sarvangasana what chakra. I am talking about only traditional asanas. Ustrasana, Shalabhasana, Makarasana, Bhujangasana, all these traditional postures, how they have the impact on the chakras, how it will ignite the brain functions and bring the mind-body coordination. So these are the basic principles. I am skipping off the time management. Ultimately, why I mentioned it? Many people love Shavasana, but it's one of the difficult postures. But my friends, you are sitting there, each asana shall become a Shavasana. It's a relaxed posture. I am standing in my earlier days. I remember still one day I stand in Shirshasana for 1 hour 40 minutes. It's the longest. When I was in BSc 2, I was just these things. It's a habit. 1 hour 40 minutes I stood on the Shirshasana, but I was so relaxed. There was no complications. So this is the way one girl, she came and practiced for Setu Bandhasana. She was so fascinated, she followed every instructions given by me and she stood up in the Setu Bandhasana. Somebody has called me, I went out 30 minutes. She was staying there calm and quiet for 30 minutes in Setu Bandhasana, in Chakrasana. So this happens, my friends, when mind-body coordinations are there. When you follow these principles of vinyasa, shwasakrama, drishti, sthiti, vishranti, these are the principles we followed, this happens like that. Next comes to the pranayama. So in Hatha Pradipika, so before doing pranayama, detoxification is compulsion. But I mentioned very 3 simple practice for all of you. Neti, dhauti, kapala, bhati. See how the frontal sinus is clean by simple practice of kapala bhati. very rhythmic things in the early morning, it cleanses our frontal sinus. It has a wonderful impact on our both hemispheres, left brain and left braining, and have the impact on our breathing pattern. Then it comes to the neti. We have many types of netis. So then it is a Jalaneti, Sutra Neti. Now I developed in the Corona, Vata Neti. Just sit out. What is neti? It is a massage with air or water or thread. So now I use the word water. Yes, you see, like this. What do you want to do? It has to cleanse your both the nostrils. So that friction, inhale and exhale with a fasting frictions for a long time, it has the impact. It cleanses slowly and it has the impact on our brain cells also. So once it is done, then we go for the pranayama practice. So how pranayama affects, my friends? There are three conditions for. One is your respiratory passage must be clear. Neti, Dhahuti, Kapalbhati has taken care of. Your respiratory muscles must be healthy. Healthy, that is taken care by the asanas. Why do you do asanas? Your diaphragm, your cardiorespiratory muscles, your ribs, etc. should be very, very healthy, so that the breathing will. Third one is your lungs must be very clean and flexible. Then we start breathing practices. So lifting off your legs, making your diaphragm very flexible, very strong. Then expansion of the chest using various asanas like Gomukhanasana, Utthana Mandukasana, so that respiration in the upper part, it's most important. Many times we have abdominal breathing, but it doesn't happen. So the good teacher develop all these things and make you to deep. Once it is happening, it's a healthy breathing leads to healthy lungs. Lungs to the heart, heart to the vagus. It's scientific now, my friends. Many yoga expert doesn't know how vagus connects with our prana. A good teacher connects that. Prana is not, breathing is not pranayama. Prana is just like its experience, it's a sensory experiences. Now you can see the one example, common example, there are two magnets. They are distinct. When they attract, there is a field. Can you see that field? You cannot see, but you can experience that. When two north and south pole comes together, you can see that attraction. Prana, it's a physical body, then above that there is a prana. Those who elevate from the breathing to the prana level, they experience that. They control that prana into 5 pranas. Prana, apana, udana, samana, vyana. Then where it is dominating, sometimes pranayama is dominating, your apana is not functioning well. You are a very good practitioner, but your apana is not managed. So therefore, apana has to be improved. That's why there are different Ujjayi, Shitali, Shitkari, Brahmari, Bastrika, various kinds of yoga, pranayama practice are there to balance these pancha pranas. Many of you know it. We do just complete Shitali karo, cool ho jayega. Ujjayi karo, heat ho jayega. Brahmari karo, merging ho jayega. Nobody knows these techniques, my friends. That's why the tradition is, in the beginning I mentioned, traditional practices are missing. Their essence is missing in the practice. We are practicing Brahmari. Essence is missing. We are practicing Chakrasana. We are practicing Ustrasana. The method or technology has been forgotten. That's why we are not able to connect the mind and body. So once the vagus to the prana, then prana, chale vate chale chittam, nischale nisham. All know that. How it is not the breathing. Breathing is the one bridge that connects. Therefore, prana connects to the mind. Then you can see how it happens. It's only 2. Again, I verified this in my earlier days because I was the student of physics. It's very hard for me, being a student of physics, it's very hard for me to accept many things. So there were 4 times you have to practice pranayama in a day. And each time you have to do 80 times. But I decided one day, so I did for 3 months, 20 times per each session, 80 times in a day. 3 months I did. Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama Ranulom Vilam. Are you practicing? How many of you are yoga students? Oh, many. Very good. How many of you are doing this Nadi Shuddhi? Can you see that? So can you change after third or fourth or fifth or 20th? What happens? Do you know it? Many of you might have not practiced for more than 20-25 rounds continuously with awareness. It's the inhalation or exhalation or ruchaka, puraka with a regulated, controlled breathing, with awareness, with consciousness, prajna. Prajna nahi hai to pranayam nahi hoga. Because slowly you come out from that physical entity to the pranic entity. You jump from that, just like electronic jump. So that Ida and Pingala, you do that, current passes, then slowly you start that your both nostrils are not functioning. It's a only uniformity. There is a one chord like things will come. Then pranayama starts. Till that time it is a breathing. Without pranayama, there is no connection between mind and body. People galat bolte. Chale vaate, because prana is different. Vayu is different. All these things we have to understand. Shwasa is different. There are panchavayus, and shwasa is the breathing, and prana is the energy. So once it happens, can you see? So how to do that? How to move the diaphragm movement? How to sit? And all these things has been explained in the traditional practice. Okay? So these are the things how we... Two pranayamas always I refer. One is Nadi Shuddhi and the one is Brahmari for every day. One brings your prana and it merges the slowly elevate your breathing practices. So these are some scientific, I will skip up because time is not well. I put how breathe well to live well. I have some points. So breathing makes our life change. Breathing is the bridge between the mind and body. Then meditation. So in meditation, why people use the triangular base? So when meditation, our spinal cord, all the chakras, if you are really meditating according to there are only two schools who teaches meditation properly. One is school of Patanjali and the school of Buddha. Arya Ashtangika Marga and Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali are the best meditative technologies developed by any yoga masters. There are many different types of meditation nowadays going on, heartful meditation, mindful meditation. So none of them are scientific as Patanjali's or Buddha's developed by, because they are very systematic. Then Vedanta meditation is also there, but this is very scientifically accepted by the scientific community. You can demonstrate it. The cognitive functions, the mind, these things can be demonstrated by these when you follow these techniques. So when you sit that, so it has the impact. So your left heel is going to touch your perineum. Then it ignites the lower chakras. I'll take 5 minutes more. Lower chakra, then it goes to. So like this, every time you are meditating with breathing, you are activating one chakra, another chakra, etc. Then it becomes the series. Then ultimately you come to the Ajna. Then so you cross that, it will go to the Sahasrara, you march that. That is the way how they have developed. Siddhasana is the best. Padmasana. Then they cannot, then Vajrasana has come. Now Maitriyasana. Chair par hi baith jao, meditation ho jayega. Aaj kara dunga main. So like this, many modifications has come, but why the traditional masters have chosen such postures which are automatically take you to the state of meditation and mind-body connection. So I had given some things. So these are some benefits. I'm skipping many times because I prepared for 45 minutes. These are some other things. Let us come to if you're not able to do pranayama properly, holding the breath, etc., naturally. So there are some bandhas, there are some mudras, then how yoga reduce the stress. So ultimately yoga and stress, my friends. So I will complete with another 1 or 2 slides, then we'll go for some small demonstration. Yoga and stress means it relaxes the body and mind. What is that? 5 minutes or 6 minutes we'll practice it. Some asanas with breathe coordination and slowly the breathing with awareness, prajna, and entering into the meditation. 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 30 day, 40 day, 50 day. Simple 10 minutes practice. Life changes, my friends. Whatever I am talking here on this stage, So it has the evidence of minimum 90 days. 90 days. Whatever I taught it, I have taught more than 40,000 teachers in my life. I've trained 40,000 teachers and more than 10 lakh people have been got training under my this thing during last 36 years. So with that confidence I'm telling you, whatever I said, it happens. The stress improves self-awareness, then calmness in mind, increase the serotonin and GABA. It's most important. And most importantly, it reduces the cortisol level. It balances the HP axis, etc. being managed properly. These are the scientific data. Whenever you do 10 minutes of proper yoga, 10 minutes I'm talking from the 2 hours. Earlier I used to do 2 hours, then I come to only 5 to 10 minutes every day. So this happens, then how it happens, my friends? Ultimately, if you are doing mind-body practice yoga, so you are always, you may be a little bit of lean or a little bit of fat like me, but you are active and flexible. Now I'm 61, I'm always active. I work for 12, 13 hours every day. So calm and compose, in all circumstances, you manage your emotions and thoughts. They are being altered. Sometimes you are maybe angry, sometimes maybe you are very, very depressed, but immediately there is a coping up. You cope up with that, you calm down. So don't see that yoga persons will not express their emotions. If they are not expressing, they are suppressing. That's the dangerous thing. Always they express, but immediately they come out from those because we are human beings. Don't hide or suppress your emotions, but express in a meaningful manner and so that it will not hit the internal organisms. So once it is calm and composed, always there is a positive emotion, but most importantly, action in relaxation. Many people take this, my word, into that. My Nagaratna Didis in 80s, she used to teach, Basavara yoga means you should be action, always karmanne vadikarasya ma phaleshu. I have to do karma once I born, but do it without any expectations. That is the action in relaxation. This mind-body practice shows that. That leads to peaceful awareness. What Patanjali says advocating Yoga Sutra. Ashuddhikshaye. Ashuddhikshaye kahan se? Our karmas. We are born and brought up with some karmas, prarabdha. So yama niyamas are there to only to elevate those karmas. Ashuddhikshayes. Kriyas and mantras are there to detoxify our physical body karmas and mental body karmas. Then asana, I explained that. Ashuddhikshaye, removal of the toxins of our bodies, our emotions, etc. Jnana Deepti, then only I get the knowledge of what I am. So then dhyana happens, if prolonged dhyana, jnana, then it leads to viveka khyati. Viveka khyati, that is the kaivalya prapti. What is explained, our 8 angas, yama niyama asana pranayama pratyahara dharana dhyana samadhi, ashuddhikshaye jnana deepti viveka khyatir. So that's why he proposed Ashtanga Yoga, my friends. Without mind body, without detoxification, without awareness, without prajna, if you are doing yoga, it has definitely some benefits, we get it. But the real treasure we have in yoga, we are missing. That's why this conference is more important. Learn the action, art of action in relaxation. That will lead to the blissful awareness. Thank you very much for your patience. Yeah. I take 5 minutes more. Yeah. So we want to do some small 3 minutes or 4 minutes yoga here, sitting there. Okay, that's okay. I will come, then you bring them. I will do 3 minutes. So what we do, mind-body connections, we'll do some 3 minutes, simple. I need 10 but 3. Sit there, Sipa. Sit there. Bring that chair. Chair lie. वो नहीं चाहिए मुझे. Chair जाइए, फटाफट लाई. इतना दूर से आया मुझे. हाँ, इतना रख. You sit. Okay. So just sit there. Okay. Hold your hands. Simple. Look straight. Look straight. You see? Align your body there itself. align your body. Okay? एक बार आंखें बंद करें, एक बार ओंकार करें, सब लोग मिलकर सांस लीजिए. Open your eyes, lock your fingers, stretch your arms up. Yes, please, please. I have very less time. Please, please cooperate with me for 3-4 minutes. So now look straight. Is your spine is aligned? Look straight, don't close your eyes. Then, are your palms are stretched properly? Are you leaning backward or forward? Is it at center? Then close your eyes, draw a straight line from mid of your palms, and through the spinal cord, it enters to the anus and falls between your ground. One line. This awareness, time is very short, otherwise I will make you experience how Prajna brings. Simple. Now slowly your body is giving up, it's a pain. Open your eyes, then slowly keep them on the head. Relaxed. Am I right? So there is a, body is not still, no. Now you can once again do that with much better. Slowly bend to your right side. Your right side. Very good. Come up, your left side. Please come up. Now keep your hand back side. Close your eyes, see the upper back. Then bring your palms on the shoulder, bring it here, then slowly move. And anti-clockwise. Okay, again stretch. Again stretch, please. Okay, please come back. So we do 3 times Onkara nicely. Then sit for a minute without any noise. Sit for a minute. Okay, close your eyes. Start once. Close your eyes, keep your hands down and meditate for a few seconds. See the impact of 5 minutes practice on your upper body, breathing and thoughts, emotions. Yes. Just open your eyes. Simple. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. All the participants, esteemed guests, as we draw the curtains of this conference today, let us come together one final time to reflect upon the wisdom shared, connections made, and the journey ahead of us. With hearts filled with gratitude and minds attuned to the divine, let us welcome each other to this closing ceremony, where we bid farewell to the enriching experience and set our sights on the path forward. Before we proceed further, let us take a moment to present the summary of the conference proceedings and the valuable insights gained during our time together. I request Professor Ujjwala to present a brief summary of the conference, highlighting the key discussions and outcomes.
Please excuse me for my voice. Honorable delegates, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present a brief summary of International Conference on Yoga Mat to Mind. This conference served as a platform for exchange of knowledge, experiences, and insights into various aspects of yoga, aiming to explore its deep impacts on both physical and mental well-being. The conference started with an inspiring opening ceremony chaired by Nagendra Guruji, the Chancellor of S. Vyasa. Following this esteemed keynote speakers, Dr. Anand Bhavnani spoke about the therapeutic aspects of yoga. Dr. Manmad Garote spoke about role of mind, and Dr. Ranjit Bhogal spoke about mantra meditation. Dr. Renu Mahatani today spoke about pranayama. Abhijata Iyengar and Sucheta Madam spoke about the process of knowledge. In Patanjali Yoga Darshan, this conference happened in a blended mode, hence few participants could join online as well. Technical sessions had about 18 paper presentations and about 50 research papers and articles will be published in the UGC Care Listed Journal. Parallel workshops offered diverse experiences ranging from traditional yoga practices to specialized techniques such as chair yoga, therapeutic yoga, sound healing session, Sahaj yoga meditation, yoga with props, and Jalaneti, catering to the varied interest and needs of the participants. About 280 delegates from India and abroad and 270 students participated in this event. As the conference is now drawing to a close, well, we will get to listen to more valuable inputs from Professor Sanjeev Sonone. Just we heard Dr. Ishwar Basav Reddy, and we will listen Sanjeev Sonone sir's speech also. We believe that the International Conference on Yoga Mat to Mind has served as a boost for promoting greater awareness and appreciation of yoga's power in promoting physical, mental, and spiritual well-being on a global scale. In this conference, Central Council for Research on Yoga and Naturopathy of Ayush Mantralaya, Delhi, National Institute of Naturopathy, Urmi Foundation, and PEFI partner with us and have been very generous. We look forward to continued collaboration and exploration in the journey toward holistic health and harmony. I am really grateful to all for making this conference a great success. I am happy to mention that our leadership is considering such yoga event to be a regular annual feature for all the yoga practitioners. This conference, Mat to Mind, has thus provided a platform for scholarly exchange, practical learning, and holistic exploration of yoga's many dimensions. Participants will leave enriched and inspired, ready to integrate the learning from here into their lives. With this, I conclude the summary of this conference. Thank you so much, and you are always welcome to Maharashtriya Mandal and Chandrashekhar Agashe College. Thank you so much.
I believe that was a super quick summary of both the days and such interactive depth and deep understanding, and it was quickly done. Thank you, ma'am. Now it's time to hear from all of you, the participants who contributed to the vibrant tapestry of knowledge and experiences woven throughout this experience. Your feedback is really valuable to us, and because we keep striving to better us, we try to continuously develop ourselves. I will request some of the participants to share the feedback and reflect upon the experiences and suggest the areas of improvement that we must do. I invite Ms. Shubhra Bhatt from Pune, Mr. Ajay Marathe from Sangli, and Ms. Tejal Dave from Pune to come one by one and quickly give a feedback. We will appreciate if you can give the suggestions more than positive feedback. Thank you.
Good evening, one and all. I am Shubhra Bhatt, teacher of DES Primary School, Tirak Road. Standing in the class in front of 53 children is so easy today, I feel, because sitting the whole day in front of all the dignitaries and listening them. But yes, it was very enriching. We got to learn many things. Yoga does not just change the way we see things, it transforms the person who sees. And this thought that today we have learned about going from mat to mind. I have read one book that is, do not lose your weight, do not lose your mind, lose your weight. I read this book long back, but I think instead of weight, it's our mind which carries many things. So instead of focusing on losing weight, I think we should first focus on our mind, which carries all negative thoughts. Yesterday, someone had asked a question about, putting all this yoga and these things into the school curriculum. I am proud to say that in our school, in these 2 years, we have been teaching yoga every day in the morning in the school. Every day, 1 hour, our children doing yoga, they are on the ground every day. We have taken initiative wherein students are performing gymnastics, Mallakham, yoga, rope Mallakham, pole Mallakham every day in the school. Now, as ma'am was talking about breathing exercises, teaching to young is very easy. I know here students are sitting, they keep on fidgeting here in the lecture, and we are teaching primary children in the class, wherein when we tell them to breathe in, they just keep their one eye open, they see here and there, they observe others. So it is not easy to teach them. But yes, by keeping a lot of patience, it becomes easy for us to make them understand what is yoga, because they are our future generations. If we do not understand this, and if we don't imbibe all these things in us, we cannot give our knowledge to others. Application of knowledge. Today, what we have learned is application of knowledge. We all have, we are in good in different things. But whatever knowledge we have gained, it is very important to spread that awareness among others. So application of knowledge is very important. Mindfulness in doing what we think. Today we are fortunate that we could listen, we could sit here and listen keynote speakers like Renu ma'am. What a fantabulous energy she has. Bhavnani sir, Manmat Garote sir. I thank Shraddha ma'am and Ujjwala ma'am as they had come in the school as a chief guest. And from there, we got to know that this session is going to happen, and so we are here. So I'm thankful and grateful to everyone in Agashe College for arranging this, right from the keynote speakers to the food what we ate. It was really very tasty, delicious, and we have learned many things, ma'am. So moving forward, I would definitely conclude by saying we have to reset, readjust, restart, refocus as many times as we can. And being a teacher of primary children, I think whenever we feel like down, whenever we feel that I want to give up, we should always remind ourselves that there is somebody who is observing you. So if you are confident, if you are going to perform well, if you are going to give good things, obviously they are going to imbibe, they are going to imitate you. Thank you so much.
I request the delegates to just give the comments about improvement and quick feedback of the conference. Thank you.
Very good evening all, respected dignitaries on the dais. Already they have told that, just to mention in short, probably the international conference on yoga, Mat to Mind, and last 2 days we had enormous, or say a kind of knowledge regarding yoga, and considering all the factors regarding yoga in our daily routine life as well as professional life. And as we had the respective guests, in which Dr. H.R. Nagendraji, who took total light on how means Dhyan, Dharana, Samadhi, and even he told that yoga to Olympics means it must be included in Olympics, along with need and responsibility of ours for the yoga spreading. Apart from Dr. Anand Bhavnani, definitely he just not only guided us, but how pathogenesis can be converted to salutogenesis. Manmat Garote means through physical activities, not for physical, yoga not for physical but through physical and different minds. Dr. Ranjit Bhongal, Mantra and Medicine, and likewise there were so many speakers who enlightened on yogic science. For me, actually, as it is said, Mat to Mind, but really I want to reveal that, sir, on 15th afternoon, I'm coming from Sangli. I forgot to introduce, actually, this is Ajay Marathi from Chintamani College of Commerce, being a physical director. I met with an accident, actually. It was kind of serious that my bike was half dead and still I'm alive, full of bleed and swollen body. But when I came over here in the 16th early morning, I came here and joined this conference and really appreciate this, really absolutely this total environment turns myself, and I have joined with my wife here. So it's become like accident to incident, and even with coincidence, to really mind relaxation and mind booster, health booster for me. So I really congratulate to Maharashtriya Mandal and CSCPA College to take us to a extraordinary environment and the knowledge regarding the total yogic science. Not only the knowledge, information, different aspects, but they provided platform to putting research paper in UGC Care listed with the tasty food and all the hospitality they done to us. Really, I'm behalf of all the dignitaries and delegates. I really congratulate and say thanks for all the happenings within 2 days. And as far as suggestions concerned, I would like to tell that probably as it is international conference, that should be probably residence providation. And apart from just, I couldn't see many more depths in this conference. I really congratulate and providing, not only providing for us knowledge, but really I met with the gurus and mentors from the Pune University and all over the world. So thanks a lot. Thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Ajay. Yeah, please.
Namaskar everyone, I am Tejal Dave and I am blessed that I have took my teacher training course from Pallavi ma'am. So I'm so grateful, I am so blessed. Secondly, as they say that yoga is the gratitude is the bestest, highest yoga. So first of all, before I say few words, I would like everyone to join me to say a big thank you to everyone who contributed. Yeah, thank you everyone, the technicians, the student volunteers, the yoga gurus. कल घरोटे सर ने एक बात बताई थी, you must be hungry, lunch time हो गया है. So I was wondering, sir हम hungry है, but not for the food. We were hungry to listen more and more. तो ये जो पूरा थाली आप लोगों ने हमको परोसा है, वो थाली छोड़ने का मन किसी को हो रहा है? नहीं हो रहा है. तो मेरा यही suggestion है कि like every year, please arrange this kind of conferences. One more thing, जो parallel sessions थे morning में, the different, so we want to attend all, not only one. So more of practical sessions, including this theoretical knowledge, तो वो much better रहेगा. That is only suggestion. Baki, I would like to say that there is no age for learning. Only learning is endless. There is no age. I have started my careers in my 40s because I know how, when you learn something new, it is so important to share your knowledge with others. तो अगर मैं इतना कर सकती हूँ तो हम सब कर सकते हैं. तो 3 cheers for all of us, 3 cheers for all the guests. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, participants, for your kind words. Now, I would like to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Ishwar Basarveddi. He is the former director of the Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga for over 18 years. His leadership also saw the founding of the Yoga Certification Board under the Ministry of Ayush, further solidifying yoga's integration into mainstream healthcare. He has played a pivotal role in declaring Yogasana as the competitive sport by the Government of India and has served as the first president of the National Yogasana Sports Federation. Additionally, he is also renowned as one of the architects of the common yoga protocol, a widely practiced regimen adopted by millions globally. Notably, Dr. Basarveddi's dedication to promoting yoga's holistic benefits led to the development of the Why Break Yoga protocol, aimed at enhancing well-being in the workplace. He served as an advisor to the Government of India for yoga and naturopathy. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Basarveddi, whose presence enriches our event today. Let's give a big round of applause. Now I request Gokhale sir to kindly felicitate Dr. Ishwar Basarveddi. Next, I would like to introduce our special guest of the evening, Professor Sanjeev Sonawne. It is my distinct honor to introduce Professor Sanjeev Sonawne, a luminary career in the field of education spans over 3.5 decades. Professor Sanjeev Sonawne is currently the Vice Chancellor of Yashwantrao Chavan Maharashtra Open University, a role that epitomizes his academic excellence and leadership in higher education. Professor Sonawne is our own. His journey in academia commenced as a lecturer at our Maharashtra Mandal's Chandrashekhar Agashe College of Physical Education. Over the years, he has been to prominent leadership positions. His tenure as the Dean of the Faculty of Interdisciplinary Studies and also Pro-Vice Chancellor at Savitribai Phule Pune University highlights his commitment to the field of education. Professor Sonawne has made extensive research contributions and international collaborations, and his involvement in joint projects with esteemed institutes like Monash University, Australia, and Southeastern Norway University, Norway, highlights his global impact and recognition. Sir's scholarly achievements have been duly recognized through prestigious awards such as Mitri Helen Keller National Award and the Lannis Palm Teachers Exchange Scholarships. It is an indeed privilege to have you, sir, with us here today. Let's give a big round of applause for Professor Sanjeev Sonawne. Now I request Rohan Damle, sir, to kindly felicitate Sanjeev Sonawne, sir. Now I request Sanjeev sir to say a few words.
Namaskar and Vande Mataram. Honorable Gokhale sir, who is the अपने देश के बड़े युद्ध नीति वाले, हमारे देश को सलाह देने वाले और अपने महाराष्ट्रीय मंडल के अध्यक्ष गोखले सर, रोहन दामले जी, who is shouldering the responsibility of this Maharashtriya Mandal. It's a 100 years old institution working in yoga, physical education, and Indian ancient games. This Maharashtriya Mandal was established in 1924. This year, the 100th year. We have Sri Ishwarji, Dr. Ishwarji, who is leading the yoga education of India. Ujjwala madam, Kavita madam, Kavhani madam, and Shraddha madam and fellow participants. Actually, everybody is talking about the yoga. But yoga is the only way by which we can control our own breath. जिसका अपने सांस पे कंट्रोल है, वो अपने खुद पे तो कंट्रोल करेगा और जग पे यानी पूरी संसार पे राज करेगा. तो वही बात है. And yoga is the only way by which you can control your breath. और योगा तो ये बात है कि हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जो हमारे देश के लिए बोला है कि ये देश विश्व गुरु होगा, आई थिंक योगा के माध्यम से वो ऑलरेडी हो गया है. और इसके लिए आज की जो कॉन्फ्रेंस है, ये कॉन्फ्रेंस में आप सब सहभागी है, आप भाग्यवान हैं. श्रद्धा मैडम बार बार बता रही थी कि आप कुछ सुझाव दीजिए, तो इसके लिए योगा कोई बोलने की बात नहीं, करने की बात है. अभी अभी आपको ईश्वर जी ने उसका अनुभव भी दे दिया है. तो श्रद्धा मैडम, every international conference when it is organized, it has a previous 3 days, there is a workshop. Always there is a workshop. So next conference you can conduct a 3-day workshop followed by the conference. So that will be great. They will experience very well way what are the new things are coming and practicing in yoga. अगले वाली बात ये है कि योगा के बारे में हम बात करते हैं तो ये जो संस्था प्रस्तापित की गई उसकी एक बेसिक थॉट है. कैप्टन शिवराम पंत दामले जी ने ये संस्था प्रस्तापित की, उसका एक कारण था कि ये जो स्पोर्ट्स फिजिकल एजुकेशन योगा जो है इसको शास्त्र करके मान्यता मिले. तो 100 साल पहले इस तत्व से ये संस्था प्रस्तापित की गई. तो हमें योगा में भी एक चैलेंज है कि हम योग के हर एक जो प्रैक्टिस है उसको साइंटिफिकली कैसे प्रूव करें. क्योंकि वर्ड को एक्सेप्ट करना है तो एम्पिरिकल डाटा के पास साइंटिफिकली इफ इट इज समथिंग इज प्रूव्ड देन ओनली इट इज एक्सेप्टेड बाय द वर्ल्ड. और ये सिंपल सी बात है कि हम बोलते हैं कि योगा से क्या फ़ायदा होता है. तो पहला एक ही बात है, इट इज़ प्रूव्ड बाय साइंटिफिकल स्टडी दैट इज़ द हमारे शरीर में पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड होती है, उसका जो स्रोत होता है तो वो बैलेंस होता है, उससे बैलेंस पर्सनैलिटी बढ़ जाती है. तो लेकिन ये बात हम जब हर दिन प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, ये कोई बोलने की बात नहीं, प्रैक्टिस करेंगे अनुभव करने की. योगा अनुभव करने की बात है. मुझे लगता है कि इतना ही इस कॉन्फ्रेंस से अगर आपको कुछ मिला है तो ये काफ़ी है. मैं आशा करता हूँ कि ये जो महाराष्ट्रीय मंडल ने और चंद्रशेखर आगाशे कॉलेज की टीम ने उनकी जितनी सराहना की जाए उतनी कम है. क्योंकि ऐसे माहौल में योगा एक ग्लोबल एजुकेशन का और ग्लोबल एंटिटी हो रही है और वहाँ सब आपको बुला के यहाँ हर एक तज्ञ से आपको अवगत किया गया. इसके लिए मैं आई अप्रिशिएट द एफर्ट्स टेकन बाय द महाराष्ट्रीय मंडल्स आगाशे कॉलेज. दूसरी बात ये है कि आपने बहुत सही ढंग से बोल दिया है कि जो भी रिफ्लेक्शंस आए हैं कि ये काफ़ी नहीं है. सही है, ये काफ़ी नहीं है, लेकिन इसके लिए अब ये आने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. आप चाहे तो वर्चुअल क्लासरूम से, जैसे भी कोविड आया है तो बाद में हम वर्चुअल मोड से भी आगे जा सकते हैं. तो आप कनेक्ट रहिए और श्रद्धा मैडम और उज्ज्वला मैडम और पल्लवी मैडम आपको इसके बारे में आगे चल के जो भी रहेगा, क्योंकि इसका इम्पैक्ट होना चाहिए. कॉन्फ्रेंस हो गई, चले गए, बाद में क्या है, अगली कॉन्फ्रेंस का राह देखेंगे. इस बीच में क्या है, तो वर्चुअली आप कनेक्ट रहेंगे तो इस सब्जेक्ट को हम आगे बढ़ाएंगे. और आप इस देश के जो धरोहर है उसमें योगा है. आपको पता होगा कि जो नया राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति आई है उसमें अभी फर्स्ट ईयर के लिए हर एक, अभी आपको महाराष्ट्र में तो मैं बता सकता हूँ आपको 45 लाख स्टूडेंट जो है हायर एजुकेशन में है. इन हर एक को योगा अभी योग की शिक्षा दी जाएगी. कौन देगा? तो आप लोगों को ये अपॉर्चुनिटी है और वो आप सही ढंग से निभाएंगे. इसके लिए मैं शुभेच्छा देता हूँ. धन्यवाद. जय हिंद, जय भारत.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Ishwar sir to give us the best wishes for future and guide us briefly on how we can propagate a yoga culture in our Maharashtriya Mandal.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Most respected dignitaries on the dais and my yoga brothers and sisters, my pranams to you all. I will not take much time because my talk was extended by 10 minutes earlier. But I have 5 things to. First, this college is it's a centenary year. And I do hope, Gultekadi, and it could be, you should get a university status, either in deemed university or de novo university, or something so that you With a rich experience, you can have autonomy, and you can run very innovative, skill-oriented programs in the field of physical education and yoga. This is my dream and my wish, and I do hope all your team will do that. And once it is happening, I will love to come back once again for that. Nowadays, yoga is popular all over the world during last 10 years. Under the able leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, the whole team is working to put forward yoga. When you dial up that Common Yoga Protocol, I know as the architect of that program, now being practiced by 270 million people across the globe. So we contacted all the yoga masters, Nagendra ji, Tiwari ji, Ramdev ji, Ravi Shankar ji, all the yoga masters, and we brought them on one platform and bring one Common Yoga Protocol. I mentioned there are many schools of yoga, bhakti, jnana, karma. Then is styles of yoga, Iyengar yoga, Vinyas yoga. Yoga is a very diversified. Many people come, which type of yoga you teach? I'm unable to answer. I teach the traditional yoga, the classical yoga. That's only I can say. But that vastness we brought one. That is our culture. Yoga is our culture. We united as an Indians, it's because of our unison in the diversity in the unification. We have a diversities, but we have the unity of mind. That is the contribution of yoga, and this, as Honorable Chief Guest, Sir, Vice Chancellor Sir is mentioning, because we already become Vishwa Guru because of the yoga acceptance. Our culture in the form of yoga, our culture is accepted by the world. Now when it is accepted, our responsibility increases. Now the future is the younger generation. What you have to do? We have to do three things. First, as an animal, as a general thing, I mentioned about 4 instincts. Being a human being with yoga, ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. Just examine all our physical or psychological problems are because of it's only these 4 mismanagement. So learn this management of these 4 basic instincts. Not like animals are better management, but we have intelligence or viveka, nitya, anitya, vastu viveka, discriminating power. Yoga improves that discriminating power. Use that so that you elevate from the animal to the human being. Be better a human being first. By why come here, it's mad to mind. That's mind-body coordination. It happened. That's the first thing. I want to improve myself. That's the first thing we have to do. The second one is whenever we try it and teach it. And teach it to 1 person, 2 person, 3 persons. And that teaching, it transforms that. It brings the transformation in the society. And last one, don't stand in the same stage. Always go on upgrading ourselves, the knowledge, our capacities, and don't satisfied till the end of our life. Go on improving, improving, improving. Ananda, Ananda, Ananda. So I'm the higher stage of consciousness. There is no end because universe is infinite. I am finite. So the journey, the last one is, I am finite. My goal is to reach to the infinite. That finite to infinite journey, the goal of yoga, that has to be taken as a motive for the youngsters so that we can all live as a one family, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir, for guiding us to reach the infinity. Yesterday, as I was privileged to introduce our president, Gokhale sir, It gives me immense pleasure today that I introduce the Secretary of Maharashtra Mandal, that is Rohan Damle sir. A name synonymous with dynamic energy and great commitment to both sport and community service. Mr. Rohan Damle is not just a Ranji cricketer, he is an embodiment of sportsmanship and dedication. Sir, Sir Damle's achievements extend far beyond the cricket pitch. Having completed his MBA in finance from MIT, he seamlessly blends his passion for cricket with astute management skills, making him an all-rounder on and off the field. His leadership as our captain is unparalleled, commanding respect and admiration from teammates and opponents alike. As the devoted secretary of Maharashtra Mandal, Mr. Damle serves as the backbone of this organization. His visionary leadership and tireless efforts are the propelling Maharashtra Mandal to great heights, marking his journey towards a century of success. His down-to-earth attitude and visionary skills sets him apart as a true captain. Today, as we celebrate Maharashtra Mandal's 100th successful year, we are truly grateful to have Mr. Rohan Damle with us. I request Rohan Damle sir to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. Honorable Dr. Ishwar Basavareddy sir, former director of Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga, Vice Chancellor, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Yashwantrao Chavan Maharashtra Open University, Professor Dr. Sanjeev Sonavne sir, President of Maharashtra Mandal, Air Marshal Bhushan Gokhale sir, the staff of Maharashtra Mandal's Chandrashekhar Agashe College of Physical Education, and all the participants present here today. I welcome you all on behalf of Maharashtra Mandal. Maharashtra Mandal, as part of its centenary year celebrations, has organized this international conference on yoga called Mat to Mind on the 16th and 17th of February. Today, we are gathered here for the closing ceremony of this conference. The conference was inaugurated by the Honorable Chancellor of S. Vyasa, Bangalore, Dr. Nagendra Guruji, and Honorable Dr. Anand Balayogi Bhavnani. And today, for the closing ceremony, we have with us Dr. Ishwar Basavareddy sir and Sanjeev Sonavne sir. I think we are very lucky that such stalwarts have graced this conference. This conference took place over 2 days, from 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. with practical workshops, keynote addresses, and paper presentations. We were blessed with the presence of great speakers from all the leading yoga and Ayurveda institutions from all over India and the world. I would like to congratulate all the staff members and student volunteers of the Chandrashekhar Agashe College of Physical Education for conducting this conference with great dedication and hard work. The credit of the success of this conference is all yours. I'm sure that all the people who attended this conference had a great experience and have taken a lot of productive insights from all the keynote addresses and workshops over the past 2 days. I once again congratulate the entire team of Agashe College for making this conference a huge success, and we will be having more such conferences every year. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your words of wisdom. Now I request Gokhale sir to give us the concluding speech.
Namaskar. Good evening to all of you. Honorable Dr. Ishwar Basavareddy, Honorable Dr. Professor Sonavne, my colleagues from the Maharashtra bundle, and all the participants. It's indeed a great pleasure that we have come to a successful conclusion of two-day conference. I remember about 3-4 months ago when we started thinking about the conference, I really don't know how it is going to shape up, what is going to be the program, and I must compliment mainly, of course, Yoga Arjuna Awardee Pallavi, Dr. Kangne, Dr. Rajay and Dr. Shraddha Bapat, and all others for having put together a really wonderful set of speakers. I remember right from yesterday's original, the opening address, we were told that it is not just the asanas which is yoga, but it's literally a whole devotion to it. Because I do yoga every day. I and my wife, we both do it. And let me tell you that I get a positive energy out of it. I'm sure that all of you who you do that, there is a positivity at even if you're tired, otherwise you do, as soon as you do about half an hour, 45 minutes of yoga, there is a tremendous positivity. And that transmits into, like one of the teachers just now was speaking from, I think, one of the schools on Tilak Road. I'm sure your positivity would transmit to your students equally. And let me tell you also, during that COVID time, all those who were doing pranayam, at least I know that in my extended family also, all those who were doing pranayam, none of them, touch wood, got COVID. So I think there is a tremendous amount of things that one can learn from this yoga, which doesn't require actually no equipment, though it is called the mat to mind. Even the mat, I mean, you can have a satrangi, as we call it in Marathi, or chatai, as you call it. But anyway, you can have a mat also. So mat to mind, but wonderful theme that it is. And every sport also requires all those to practice, in a way, yoga. Because when you see hamstrings, especially Rohan plays cricket, and you find while watching all these 1 day or 20 matches, all that, you find somebody is hurt with a string which has been pulled. I was told that some of them have come for the yoga teachers and to try and find out as to how they can. So yesterday when I was going around various workshops that were being held, I was very happy to see some of the exercises. So I must compliment all of you, and I must compliment the 3 or 4 participants who came, because from their speeches I could gather that you have spent useful time here. As regards Dr. Sonamne gave us a very good news just now that at all India level, the university has got an award. A second award, is that right? Second place. 2 awards. And as I was coming in, Dr. Ishwar was demonstrating various poses, which, I practice, of course. And then he mentioned about how yoga is useful. I think I don't need to keep repeating those aspects. So, but thank you very much for having graced this occasion. Maharashtra Mandal is planning to, as you know, that it's already hosting this 100th year. And we're planning to have a yoga research center in due course of time. And all those speakers and many others who are in India or abroad, I'm sure will help us. And all of you, of course, we look forward to your support in establishing this research center. Thank you once again. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, President Gokhale sir. Since you all appreciated us, I am taking a little liberty to break the protocol and tweak the agenda a little bit. This conference was not, it wouldn't have been possible if the backbones were not there for us, if the guiding force behind this conference was not there for us. I request Principal Kangne sir to honor President and the Secretary of Maharashtra Mandal with a small token of appreciation. Please, sir. Because without their support and guidance, this was not going to happen. Secretary Rohan Damle, sir. Our captain. It's like Captain Cool. Thank you so much, sir. As we come to the end of this program, I request Dr. Pallavi Kavane to deliver the formal vote of thanks.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Namaste, everyone. I also want some liberty. So, Dr. Air Chief Marshal Bhushan Gokhale, sir, please felicitate Dr. Shraddha Naik, because 2 days she's anchoring whole day and she's coordinating this program, and it's very big thanks, big round of applause for her, Dr. Shraddha Naik. All working beyond the culture, all our professors, and Snehal also. Please come, Snehal. Yeah, I'm requesting Bhushan sir again to facilitate Sneha, okay. She's also 2 days, she's anchoring whole day, and she's coordinating this program. Thanks a lot, Snehal. Thank you very much. Honorable guests, esteemed speakers, distinguished delegates, all yoga lovers, yoga sadhak, as we drawn the curtains on this International Conference of Yoga, Mat to Mind, I stand before you with a heart brimming with gratitude and appreciation. On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend my heartfelt thanks to all our gurus, Dr. Nagendra Guruji, Dr. Basav Reddy ji, Dr. Sonavane, Dr. Ananda Bal Bhavanani, and all the keynote speakers and experts who guided and blessed us with the last 2 days. I would also like to express our profound gratitude to the Central Council of Research in Yoga and Naturopathy, Delhi, the National Institute Naturopathy, NIN, which is in Pune, and the Ministry of Ayush for their invaluable support and collaboration. I extend our sincere appreciation to the Urmi Foundation, the Physical Education Foundation of India, PEFI, and all our other sponsors for their generous contribution and unwavering support. Your support and dedication have been truly inspiring. A big thank you to the publicity team, technical team, photography team, sound and light team, auditorium staff, for ensuring smooth operations and coordination throughout the conference. A special mention goes to the students and participants. Oh, you are the main thing, like you are here. That's why this conference have a lot of success for making this great event success. Last but not the least, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to the management, authority of their solid guidance, encouragement, and unwavering support throughout the planning and execution of this event. In closing, I extend my deepest gratitude to each and every one of you for your participation, engagement, and enthusiasm. Your presence has made this conference truly memorable, and we look forward to continuing our collective journey towards promoting health, harmony, and well-being through the timeless wisdom of yoga. And this, all the pictures, what this is creation you are looking here, that is our past student Navnath, he made all these things, so I felt very this thing for him also. And thank you once again, and may the spirit of yoga continue and illuminate our path of inspire our lives. Namaste, thank you very much, thanks a lot. See you soon again, thanks a lot.
Wait, ma'am, wait. So before we part our ways today, let us join together one final time in a closing prayer, seeking blessings for our continued journey towards the enlightenment and inner peace to the divine. I request Ms. Pallavi ma'am to lead the closing prayer. All of you.
Gently close your eyes. Sit upright. Join your palm in Namaskara Sthiti. Focus your breathing. Deep inhale and long exhale. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha. Sarve Santu Niramayah. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Slowly head down. Surrender yourself in front of the universal power, Adiyogi, Hiranyagarbha, Maharshi Patanjali, and all our sages and gurus. Slowly, your head up and gently open your eyes. Namaste.
With this, we conclude the conference. Until we meet again, namaste. Thank you so much.